Fuck everything. Fuck you, Neil. Fuck you, John. Fuck you, Brian. Fuck you, dear listener. Why?
Okay, Brian, that's a great way to start the podcast because I want to say something. We've recorded 100 episodes of this show. We're at the 4-year anniversary. Those 100 episodes just gone, okay, good stuff, fine. I'm fucking done with it. That's Let's Fight a Boss classic, okay? That's over. We're not doing that anymore. We are now entering the Let's Fight a Boss attitude era, okay? I'm going to be way more like vulgar and boisterous. It's going to be a lot more innuendo and like the kind of hosting and stuff like that. Neve, you're nodding. I see that's good. Brian, I just want you like smoking just constantly, you know, and just like shouting at people. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Neve, I want you to just stare into that mic and just say the most outrageous thing you can, okay? So 3, 2, 1, go.
Fuck Twinks.
Okay, that's way too much. That's way too... Okay, we got to dial it back.
Neil, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, this whole thing was a mistake. We're just going to return to the classic format because that was just awful.
To everybody who's part of that community, we apologize.
We're so sorry, everyone.
I'm just fucking sick of Twinks.
What a disaster.
How about Otters?
No, they're good. Otters are the new Twinks.
Wait, what's the difference?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Neve. I don't go looking for Twinks or Otters right now.
An otter is a hairy twink.
Right, okay.
You know what a bear is?
Yeah, I know what a bear is.
Okay,
I saw a documentary on bears on Eurotrash before.
Okay, so so then the otter is like a streamlined version of the bear. It's
Right.
more athletic version of them.
And so, okay, what's a twink then?
Hairless. Like Link from Zelda.
hang on.
It's not all about body
A twink
hair again.
can't be
Yeah.
a hairless otter, and an otter can't be a twink with hair.
That's why
That's a
there's-
logical fallacy.
That's why they have different names for different classifications.
This is such a terrible intro.
What are you... This is so,
Like,
attitude era, Neve.
Attitude.
Wah! This is what I wanted. I'm just going to say, if you haven't enjoyed the first 2.5 minutes of this podcast, just switch it off and just unsubscribe because this is literally this is going to be every minute for every podcast that follows for the next 100 episodes until we hit the ruthless aggression era.
so take like your dick in your hand or a tit in a hand and let's go.
Let's go!
Hold on tight, kids.
Welcome to Let's Fight a Boss, the world's strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with two of the most outrageous people in the entire world. To my left, I got nothing. I froze and I got nothing.
It's your boy, French Fry.
It's your boy French Fry. To my right, Queen of Attitude.
It's Burger Bun Neve.
It's Burger Bun Neve. And with you always, it's
Flat Patty John.
Flat Patty John.
Flat Patty John. I want to see a drawing of that.
No, please don't anyone do that. Although, what's wrong with you, Neve?
Flat Patty. It just sounds like other words.
It's the Attitude Era, John. You brought it in.
Yeah, I regret it. I regret everything. I guess we should just get into things because we have a shit ton to talk about.
I guess minor spoiler for later. I'm not too jazzed about E3. Not jazzed at all.
That's really sad, Neve. It's really sad that you're not jazzed.
No.
There's no jazz.
Just
No
none.
jazz, yeah,
There's no rhythm.
no rhythm. Neve, why don't you tell us about I Am Mother?
I've been watching a bunch of Netflix films because I want to make use of that subscription in some capacity.
Yeah.
So I watched I Am Mother, and it is a debut film from an Australian director called Grant Spurtor. Sorry, Grant. And it was like it's a sci-fi thriller where the premise is there was a mass extinction of humans.
Good.
Yeah,
Good riddance.
but there is a fail-safe system that I guess humanity built where there is a lot of human embryos in a station with robots ready to put those embryos into gestation in these kind of weird pods and grow a new humanity. So you have Mother, who is a robot.
Oh, yeah, I remember the thumbnail for this.
And I call her she because it's Rose Byrne is the voice of Mother.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, it's really
great.
weird. She's like such a like lovely voice, and you're like, I trust Mother.
I trust Mother.
She just she puts an embryo into this like pod, and there's a child, and it goes through the kind of child's lifespan, like treating the robot as mother, and the robot has like heating pads on it so the child can like be warm while it's being held, and it just goes up through the kid's life until she's a teenager. And this is where the story kind of happens, because she starts to ask question like, why am I the only kid on the station? Like, why has no one else been brought to life? And more questions starts being asked when a strange woman appears at the door.
Fucking hate when that happens.
I know, knocking, and we thought all of humanity is dead. This is a big shock, and it kind of plays like I wouldn't say it does anything new in this genre. Like it's an evil AI, or is it kind of story. Yeah. You don't leave the bunker for the majority of it. They go outside once, and there's some lovely shots when they do go outside. The woman lives in a very makeshift home on a beach, and it's really looks nice. But it doesn't do much new, but what it does do, and its aesthetic, I thought was pretty strong, and it was a fun Netflix movie. Brian, who is the woman who is... What can't I think of her name?
What else is it?
Boys Don't Cry?
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank is in it. I haven't seen Hilary Swank in years. Thank you, Brian.
Oh yeah, she's great.
So she's in it, and she's the kind of mysterious stranger, and she's like, the robots have been what's been killing us, has been what's totally wiped out humanity.
So you know the way the evil AI thing is so common that you're starting to get the reverse of that, where it's like the AI is evil. No, it's actually not evil.
Yeah.
I get so disappointed when it's not evil.
This kind of has a like, there's a moment where you're like, maybe it's not evil, maybe it is. It kind of leaves it like there's a little bit of ambiguity there, because it's all very much about motherhood.
I think I need the robots to be evil, and that worries me, because like, you know, when you think about like, how are you going to be weird and bigoted when you're old? Like, how will society change around you enough that now you're the monster? And I think it's going to be like my granddaughter bringing home like a T1000 and me saying all this like super like robo-racist stuff, like, I never married my Game Boy when I was your age and shit like that. Like, I think even that clip,
you're just being like, a robophobe.
In 60 years, someone's going to clip that, and that's going to be my cancelling.
Maybe, because I'm like the total opposite. I could love a robot mom. Like, if it's voiced by Rose Byrne.
So in this, the AI Rose Byrne is protecting the girl.
She raises the girl, and the girl like, and she just refers to the girl. The girl's name is Daughter.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And
this sounds cool.
It's interesting, and like it has a cool aesthetic. Like the daughter has bunker clothes, and it's like this full red jumpsuit with these like white like trainers, and it looks cool. Like the aesthetic is there. It's a debut film, and like I'd like to see what more he does, because it was interesting and had an interesting cast, and not bad. Like, I think give it a shot if sci-fi thrillers are your jam and you like AI stuff.
Cool. I actually watched a Netflix film recently. It was on Canadian Netflix, so I don't know if it's available everywhere. It was called Terrorizer.
I don't think that's available here.
No, that sounds interesting.
It was about an evil clown.
No, yeah, we definitely don't have that.
Yeah, it was about an evil clown. I was in this hotel, right? And you could go to the hotel Netflix, but you had to log into like someone else's account. And so I wanted to see if I could do that, because I don't want to fucking go get my password, you know, all that shit. And I went in, and there was like 5 different logins to pick from, and so I picked one, and I was able to look back at everything this dude had like watched, and it was like a bunch of different searches for like kind of political dramas, but at one point he just searched the phrase "you-porn"
into
Netflix.
That was a drunken move.
He had some business he needed to do, and he was not thinking.
Oh dear.
I wonder what came up for him. Probably some terrible documentary.
Maybe we should Google YouPorn. But no, Netflix could be YouPorn. But Terrorizer, imagine a horror film with like absolutely no subtext at all. It is pure just like violence porn with a weird spooky clown. But here's the thing. Clown actually is kind of spooky. So it sort of does hit its mark a little bit.
Yeah? What does the clown look like?
Like all black and white. So like it's actually something Brian that we might watch at some point.
So he's like a pirouette kind of clown?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a very creepy smile. And
Is he stripy?
no, I think it's like one big block of black, one big block of white.
Okay, so he's checkered.
Yeah, and then like black and white makeup. And yeah, it was, I don't know. I mean, if you want a really weird, dumb horror movie, go for it.
Is he like a smiling clown or a crying clown?
Smiling clown.
Okay.
Yeah. Big smile. Brian.
Yeah.
Tell us about Thunder Road.
Oh my god. This is a film that just came out and I really, really, really enjoyed it. It's written, directed, and starred by this guy called Jim Cummings. And it's based on a short film that he made like 3 years ago about a police officer. I think he's from Texas. And he's at his mother's funeral giving her obituary. And it's all done in one take. And it's just a man having a nervous breakdown. And he talks about like how her favorite song was Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen. He attempts to play the song, doesn't play correctly. He's dancing in the middle of the church. Someone is filming it on their phone. He's looking for his daughter. His daughter gets up. He's like, but it's just a human at their lowest. But it's so well acted. But it's also a comedy because it's got a sense of humor to it.
This sounds amazing.
It's really, really, really good. So that's the short film. The feature film is that as the first 10 minutes and then what happens next, which is a really, really, really good way to do it. And it's just the way he plays this character. I've never seen like a character think in a movie like that where he's talking about one thing, then he gets sidetracked, talks about that, then jumps back to the other thing. Because the dialogue is so naturally written where they don't sound like they're just telling the story to the other character. Rather, he's actually saying what's on his mind.
And is the short film available online?
It's on Vimeo.
Nice, okay. This sounds class, Brian.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. It's super well acted. It's really, really sad, but it's also very funny. There's a lot of just like people in car parks getting upset and taking off their clothes.
Fucking been there.
Yeah. And it's a very sweet movie as well.
That sounds great. Brian, tell us about the Deadwood movie.
Oh man, that was brilliant. It was
Okay,
good.
moving on.
You know how a recent HBO TV show has not ended well?
Oh, God, like, what ended?
Game of Thrones.
No, what ended badly?
Game of Thrones. Deadwood never got an ending.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. Deadwood never got an ending, and that show got cancelled 13 years ago.
Jesus.
It aired from like 2004, 2006, and I loved it. It's my favorite cowboy thing. Without Deadwood, there would be no Red Dead. Like, it is the exact same aesthetic.
Well, they're both westerns.
But like, they're both full of swearing and have very, very difficult situations in them.
Before, like, Deadwood, cowboys never swore.
Never. Actually, no. One thing about Deadwood was that they actually contextualized the language to be contemporary, because back then cowboys would have said tarnation as like a swear, so they had to change that to, you know,
fuckity duckity.
Yeah, fuckity, fuck-a-doodle-doo.
New t-shirt idea. Neve's face just saying fuckity duckity.
Yeah.
So what t-shirts we got now? We got oh no I'm gay, or fuckity duckity, and hello my name is Joe.
And then what? Flat Patty John?
Just my face on a pancake. Brian, I'm so sorry. Keep going. Brian, should I watch Deadwood?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But see, the thing with Deadwood is, it came out before TV shows were like
real good,
really, really good. Where like each episode led into the next. Deadwood is kind of like they're just individual. Here's a day in Deadwood.
With no like overarching plot, really.
There is an overarching plot, but like sometimes they're just like
it happens every second episode. Yeah.
There's just some episodes where they don't give a shit. The best thing about Deadwood is how the characters talk to each other, because it's like they're like rapping at each other. They're like waxing lyrically, and they just say the worst shit to each other, and they're so dismissive and rude, but it's so fucking funny.
Just like this podcast.
Yeah, it is. It's very like it. One of the main characters is Ian McShane's character, Al Swearingen, and he's in the John Wick movies as the hotel manager.
Oh, cool.
Of the Continental, but like this is kind of like what he's previously known for. But he plays like the owner of a brothel in this, and he's just the angriest, meanest man who's kind of like a decent human, but don't believe it for a second because he's the worst.
Okay, I like that.
But it's cool because it takes place 10 years later, and it's a 2-hour movie, and it just wraps up all the storylines. Calamity Jane, she finally got to tell her girlfriend how she felt.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm in.
I need to stress how much it's like. Who's the girl in Red Dead 2? The butch cowgirl. What's her name?
Sadie Adler.
Sadie. Okay, yeah. So Calamity Jane in Deadwood is Sadie Adler.
I still think back to Red Dead 2, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna replay that soon. I love Sadie.
yeah, Sadie was the best. She was really good.
So one of the main characters in Deadwood is Calamity Jane, and she's just a drunk cowgirl who goes around on a horse completely blind drunk.
I want that to be me.
And she's just swearing at animals and swearing at the river because she's just
get a horse, and you're there.
I'd love a horse.
Skylar from Breaking Bad was in this show originally,
Really?
so she's in it for like
What
a couple.
kind of person does she play?
Not really much of a character. She didn't get fleshed out enough.
Right. Okay.
She didn't get a I don't know.
But so the movie then takes place. So 30 years have passed in real life. Is it?
Yeah, about a decade later, and some of the characters have died because the actors have died.
Right.
But like, Deadwood's like a Western show, but it's really about how a town gets made. Because in the first season, it's a gold mining camp that has a brothel, and then an ex-sheriff and his friend Solstar. So the two guys are the main guy's played by Timothy Olyphant. Can't remember that guy's good name. He's not the main character isn't the best,
Right.
but all the supporting characters are amazing.
Okay.
But they set up a hardware store, and they're ex-sheriff and deputy from a previous life. And so they set up a hardware store, and slowly but kind of surely things around Deadwood kind of make it into a town. And then in season 2 they get electricity, and it's just about how a town gets developed in
That sounds
America.
really interesting. How many seasons is Deadwood?
3. And there's like 10 episodes per season.
That's pretty digestible.
And some of the fight scenes in this show are the most fucked up fights I've ever seen.
As in fist fights or gun fights?
Dirty brawl fights in the mud.
Hell yeah.
Like, there's one fight in particular where someone's eye gets popped out. And then the fight goes on for 5 more minutes with the guy's eye dangling.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I need to stress how fucked up this show is. But like, it's based on a real town, and these are real people. They're more exaggerated fictional versions of these people, but this supposedly happened.
Jesus.
It's a good show.
That sounds cool, bro. And were you like satisfied with how the movie wrapped things up? Because that's a difficult thing to do.
Very, very satisfied.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
But like, it doesn't end. It just sort of like, it gives a conclusion to like what you think is going to happen next, and you're like, okay.
Guys, we got some great news. It's Wrestle Talk.
Go.
What do you mean?
You're eating into your wrestle talk. Come on, you're on the clock.
Timer's on.
I have an allocated limit.
Yeah.
So you always.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Brian? What's wrong, Neve?
You're 20 seconds in.
Guys, I watched AEW's Double or Nothing, and this is exciting because AEW is the new wrestling federation in town, and it's...
Wait, is this the one that Kenny Omega's in?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, who are Kenny Omega's like best friends. They run it, and so does Cody Rhodes, who's another wrestler. And this was like their first like official big pay-per-view. There was something before called All In, but it wasn't officially AEW. This is their first big pay-per-view. And I loved it. It was great. It was so good. And what I would really say about this, if you watch a WWE pay-per-view, every match is going to be in the WWE style. Nothing is going to go longer than 15-20 minutes, and there's going to be not a lot of very hard-hitting violence. It's all going to be very, very choreographed, a lot of kind of just quite sterile for the most part, and that isn't to say there can't be breakout matches, just there aren't usually. Every match in this felt like it was from a different wrestling promotion, and I mean that in the best way possible. There was one match, and it was Joshi Pro, so it was all Japanese women's wrestling. The shit these women do to each other would make you fucking cry. Like, there is something about, like, women's wrestling, and I don't want to get weird about this. There's something about women's bodies, the way they, like, crumple when they hit the canvas, that makes it look so much more painful than the men's shit. There's this wrestler called Aja Kong, and you should look her up. She is a fucking beast of a woman, and I mean that with the highest respect and praise possible. She is awesome. When she suplexes other women, it looks like she's trying to kill them, and it's amazing. The Joshi Pro match in this was so good, it makes me want to just check out more Joshi Pro stuff. The highlight of the whole show for me, though, was Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. And you might know Dustin Rhodes, Neve, Goldust.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's old.
50.
Wow.
And he just had the match of his career at 50 years old.
Wow.
So the thing about Goldust, thing about Dustin Rhodes, is he's always like played these very eccentric, elaborate characters like Goldust and all this kind of stuff. When he went to TNA, they made him play. I think his name was Seven. Have I ever showed you guys this clip?
No, was he a cyborg?
I don't know what he was. My loot drop for this episode is going to be Seven's promo, and Dustin Rhodes basically floats to the ring. He's like a really spooky Undertaker, is what he is. He gets to the ring and he just says, "I don't want to do this."
Really?
This was way back in the day. So his problem is he's always wanted to just be himself, and he's always been saddled with these really over-the-top gimmicks. So when he comes out, half his face is painted like this red-black demon creature, and half his face is just his. And it's him fighting his younger brother, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes being the American Nightmare. Side note, Cody Rhodes has a Siberian Husky who he loves very much and is in all his Instagram pictures, called the Siberian Nightmare. And I think that's really cute. But basically, the two guys just have this match, and it's kind of, they're bigging it up as Dustin Rhodes' like retirement match. And it's really kind of sad because their dad was also a wrestler called Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. And at the start of the match, the crowd just start chanting, "Thank you, Dusty," before they ever lock up. And like, the air is so thick with emotion. Like, it was kind of beautiful. And like, what unfolds is like one of the most violent, intense wrestling matches I've ever seen. The ring canvas is so soaked with blood after this. I think they had to change the mat. And it was amazing. Like, it was gratuitous. Like, it was too much blood. Like, there was blood pouring. But it was really sad because it's genuinely like, these two guys are real life brothers, like actual brothers. And this was like, they've kind of had a wrestling rivalry their entire lives, and this was the culmination of that. And seeing the way the kind of story drew to a close, and like both the match and like kind of Dustin Rhodes' career, it was fucking amazing. Like, it's the kind of match where I look at it and I'm like, hell yeah, like this is why I fucking love wrestling so much. There was other great matches as well. The Young Bucks versus Phoenix and oh my god, I'm completely blanking on his name, and I love him. Pentagon Jr. was brilliant. Pentagon Jr. is so good. He looks like a fucking Mortal Kombat character. He's like, Kero, and he's really good. And then Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho was also quite good. I think Chris Jericho is super impressive to be still doing what he's doing at this age, but nothing matched the Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes.
I have a question. If a wrestler takes part in this company, are they like banned from WWE?
Here's how contentious things are. When Cody Rhodes comes out, there's a throne on the stage, a throne of skulls, Triple H has like been linked. Triple H's old name used to be the King of Kings, and he used to have a throne of skulls. Cody Rhodes walks to the ring. His wife Brandy gets him a sledgehammer, Triple H's weapon. Cody Rhodes walks back up and smashes the throne because he's like breaking like Triple H's legacy. He's breaking WWE's hold on wrestling.
It's like when Drogon melted the Iron Throne.
Exactly. It's just as good as that moment.
The dragon understood the metaphor that
he
the
did.
Iron Throne was.
I'm understanding the metaphor.
Yeah. It was a little heavy-handed. It was better than that, but it was a little heavy-handed. But I can't wait for All Elite Wrestling to start. And their next pay-per-view is called Fight for the Fallen, and it's a charity event for victims of gun violence. And I don't want to get too into it, but that's a very un-WWE thing to do, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm putting
Yeah.
down.
Oh,
that's
I know,
cool.
I do. I see the Venn diagram of a
Yep.
WWE audience
Yep,
and
yep,
the
yep.
other interests.
And we don't need to say any more about that. But this was an incredibly impressive show. People, please check out the Joshi Pro match if you can. I'd really, really recommend the Dustin Rhodes versus... If you don't like violence in wrestling, I'd maybe tell you to steer clear of this, because I showed Michelle it and she was halfway through. She was like, why are you showing me this? But she got it by the end. You know, like there's a story that unfolds by the end, and I do think the violence enhanced it. It's just not for everyone. That's Wrestle Talk.
That was a good wrestle talk.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Yeah, no problem. See, they're not all bad.
No, they're not. But do you know what's bad? Is Black Mirror Season 5.
Okay.
Oh,
hit
is
us,
it?
Brian.
Oh my god.
Brian, I get the feeling you've been kind of chomping at the bit to talk about this.
Yeah. As someone who's had a high tolerance for Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, I finally reached my limit, and that is Season 5 that just aired. I'm going to spoil one of the episodes.
Go for it.
I can't believe this is the same person who wrote like Screen Wipe.
Screen Wipe's
Yeah,
so
so
fucking good.
So like, I guess like most people don't know that Charlie Brooker used to make a TV show where he would sit on the couch and criticize other TV shows.
It's one of the best things on television.
Yeah.
Like it is YouTube pre-YouTube.
Yeah,
And-
totally.
And he would just like talk about how formulaic things are and how like they're really scraping the barrel with ideas and just
Had a really good episode on how famous people turn into assholes.
Mhm.
yeah. And there was one about reality TV about how they'll edit stuff.
Yeah.
And they can edit someone to make them look like the good guy or the bad guy. But if you have 24 hours of footage, you can do whatever you want with the narrative. So there's this one episode in Black Mirror Season 5, and it's called Smithereens. And it's about a fictional Twitter and a fictional Uber and placeholders in for real things. But you know how we were talking about how things don't have subtext sometimes? This is an episode of Black Mirror that has no subtext whatsoever.
It's just all text.
It is so it's just a synopsis that happens and then it ends, and it involves Andrew Scott, who's an Irish actor who played the bad guy in that fucking modern version of Sherlock. Remember him?
Oh, I thought he was awful.
Yeah.
Well,
Moriarty.
That's him, yeah.
He wasn't bad. No, he was like he put really through
The
himself
writing
into that
was
role.
bad.
The writing
Yeah.
was bad.
So he's also in season 2 of Fleabag, but like I think they got him because they know he's really, really good at like screaming and like just being hysterical, but also speaking the lines clearly.
Yeah.
Because he plays a fake Uber driver who collects a fake person or a person from fake Twitter to drop them off at the airport.
So these are all real people within the context of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he thinks this person is a high-ranking member of fake Twitter, which is called Smithereen. And he holds them hostage in a car and demands that he gets them through to the CEO of Smithereen. So then the CEO is kind of like a Mark Zuckerberg kind of guy. And he's a Silicon Valley guy played by Topher Grace, who is off meditating for 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere.
What's Topher?
Jack did this.
What's Topher
The
Grace?
Twitter
been in?
guy. He went meditating.
Yeah.
Tofu Grace. He's that 70s show.
There he is.
Yeah, Eric Foreman.
Yeah.
Except he has a ponytail now.
Okay.
He's actually pretty good in this. Like he plays someone who's just like a very chill asshole. But the episode, it's just I want you to get him on the phone, and you're kind of like, all right, why? You find out why at the end of the movie, or at the end of the episode. It's because he used to be addicted to Smithereen, and the whole time the whole time he has the guy hostage, Smithereen staff are like combing through his history on the account, and they find out that he stopped using it a couple years ago because his wife died in a car accident. And his wife died in a car accident because the other driver that hit the car, the driver was drunk. And the only person who survived in the car accident was Andrew Scott's character. But then you learn, because he rings up the CEO and he finally gets through to him, and he tells him, I caused the car accident because I was looking at my phone on Smithereen. But I didn't get the blame because the other driver had tested positive for alcohol, and so I got out. I murdered people guilt-free, or, without.
That has to be the fucking weakest take you could
like-
do on
this
Twitter bad.
Yeah.
This sounds like draft, like not even one draft, like 0.3 of a script.
That you throw out.
Yeah. And then the CEO guy goes, oh my god. And then he's like, do you have anything to say? And like the CEO's like, well, what do you want me to say? And he's like, I don't know, I just wanted to tell you this. Like, I'm so angry at Smithereen. And the guy goes, well, I guess when we made the prototype, it wasn't meant to be like this. But then marketing happened, and, it just kind of became this dopamine thing. And it's like...
Yeah, that's what Twitter is.
But that literally could be any app.
Yeah, you haven't, this is Black Mirror at its fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when Black Mirror is like, guys, what if social media is evil?
Okay.
But they could even do this in a more interesting way, that he wanted to be verified, and it's about popularity or
No,
something.
it's nothing.
So they've
about
already
that.
done that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there is nothing. And so at the end, it's just the CEO telling him how he wished the company would have been, but it just ended up being something else. And he tells him, "Shut up! I want to tell you my problem. I don't want to hear your response to it." And then the sniper takes him out. But then there's a montage at the very end, and Charlie Brooker, you're a very clever man, because okay, guys, get this. They use the song it's too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you. But it's set to a montage of people on their phones. So there's a girl in the supermarket queue, but she doesn't realize it's her turn because she's on her phone.
Guys, I
whoa.
got an idea for a print, right? I'm gonna draw a bunch of zombies, alright?
Okay.
Listen to this. But they're all gonna have phones in their hands, and they're gonna be looking at their phones.
And then there's another one where it's there's a bunch of guys playing basketball, and then the basketball net is free. But the guy has to be told, hey, the basketball net is free, because he was on his phone.
This is fucking
And,
awful.
and then the last one is, it's a guy, right? And he's in the car, but he's on his phone, and then he doesn't realize it's a green light and he has to drive. And the thing is, Andrew Scott's character was also driving a car.
Yeah.
And see, if you use a phone in a car, you might caught... Charlie, I don't know how you do it.
I'm actually kind of worried when we get to Charlie's age. Will this happen to us? Because he made cool shit.
He was so cynical and dismissive
Yeah.
of this kind of shit that's on television right now. Charlie, what the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Do you ever see, there's I think it's a Tumblr post, and it's just a single line about Black Mirror, and it encapsulates all, so much, and I do like episodes of Black Mirror. I think when it's good, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it encapsulates
It's just not cool
kind of
anymore.
everything I don't like about it, and it's just, what if your mom ran on AAA batteries, mate?
Did you watch the Miley episode?
Yeah, that was fine. It was kind of K-pop is a thing, and so is Hatsune Miku.
I'm told there's a Street Fighter episode.
There's a Street Fighter episode.
What's that about?
It's about two guys who play a VR version of fake Street Fighter, but they realize that their player characters can have sex with each other. And it's about two guys in a homosexual relationship, but not.
Fighting and fucking are basically the same thing.
That's the kind of moral of that.
Yep. What's wrong, Neve?
I just I don't know.
It's getting worse. It's gotten way worse since Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch was the fucking thing, because that went totally against everything that Black Mirror was.
It's gotten way worse than Bandersnatch.
But just the premise of Bandersnatch was we
We want your user data
Yeah.
data to sell you stuff back.
But before he would do something about stealing user data. Anyway,
guys, what say we move into our strategy talk? Neve, tell us about Observation.
Observation is a sci-fi thriller puzzler. It's published by Devolver Digital, and it's made from most of the team who made Alien Isolation. So it has a very realism kind of aesthetic. Like, it looks like you are in the International Space Station. It looks exactly like that. You are on a space station. It has the Russian wing, the Chinese wing, and the US wing. And you are you're not. There is a woman on board called Dr. Emma Fisher. You play the AI she communicates with, Sam. And Emma has woken up, and all 5 other crewmates are gone, or at least she can't find them. And she can't get in touch with Houston. So she's like, Sam, run diagnostics. This is where the puzzles come in. You, via like kind of static cameras, move around this space station. Again, this is like rendered hyper realistically, so it's absolutely beautiful. It looks cool, like really aesthetic if you're into like space. You move through the space station from camera direct feed cameras. You also can go into an orb to float around kind of manually, and through that you will like just get the station up and running. So she's like, run diagnostics. You kind of go through everything, see what's wrong. You kind of go, okay, something's wrong in this part of the station. You alert Emma to it, and she'll be like, okay, Sam, can you open this airlock for me to move it? And you're just moving again, turning on stuff, getting Emma through the station. And these are all kind of match image puzzles, kind of just observation point and click puzzles nearly. And you help Emma kind of discover what's happened on this space station. It takes a turn. And the turn is evil AI, but this time you get to play as the AI. And can an AI be evil? Can it be good? An AI is just an AI. You know what I mean?
If it's doing bad things, it's evil. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. But
Sam doesn't know what he's doing.
Fuck him.
So it's just a really interesting way to do this. You don't play as a person, you play purely as cameras, but Sam has a personality and Sam has a fondness for Emma, and it's just this slow uncovering of what happened to the space station. The space station was meant to be over Earth. It's now over Saturn. In real life, Saturn has a hexagon cloud across its surface. Like, this is a thing they discovered, I think, in the 80s. And hexagons come into play a lot in this, and since they're over Saturn. So something's drawing the station there, and something's pulling Sam to bring the station there. So Sam, as you progress through the puzzles, is like, I think I brought you here.
Oh, this sounds cool. It's
really, really cool. There is a downside to it, and that is, as Sam and through the cameras, you have to like find things. So say you need to find, you'll hack into a laptop that's off to do stuff. Sometimes it's hard to find the things in the world that you need to.
Right.
Are you like pixel hunting?
Nearly. You can get Emma to restate the prompt, you know?
Yeah.
But she'll have said like 3 sentences. Sam, I need you to do this, this, and this, and this. She'll repeat kind of the last sentence. So it's really funny to play as an AI where basically the command is, Sam, I need you to open the fucking door. And you're like 20 minutes later kind of going through like camera to camera being like, is this the airlock button? Like, you know, you're you feel like the stupidest AI in the world. And you're like, can you repeat yourself, Emma?
I think I've heard this criticism elsewhere as well.
I would say if you're into the aesthetic and if you're into like Moon or Gravity or any of these things, I think this game is totally fine to play with a guide because the story is compelling and the locations are cool. As Sam, you need to move outside the space station to kind of fix and assess damage. It is so amazing. Like, they've rendered this like it's very much in the guise of the real International Space Station, and they've rendered Saturn, and you can float around it as an orb and go around it. Emma finds a crewmate and she goes outside to fix some of the space station, and it's just this full astronaut costume in space. And it's like, a part of me really wishes that this was in VR, because even as it is, it's very immersive in how kind of daunting it feels and scary it feels. And I think that's really cool. They really managed to capture it. I think moving through the camera and being the observer, like it's called observation, being the observer of people and not have any control over them or their actions, like as you would in a game. It's really like, it kind of adds this extra layer of fear to it, because you can't do anything except follow orders, and you can't break away from that in its own way.
That's really interesting.
It's really cool. I think it's totally fine to play with a guide. There'll be some stuff like match puzzles will come up, like the hexagon will appear.
Uh-oh.
And it's like, it's basically a matching game, and it's really fun, but it's cool. You'll just do those for fun. But other stuff where it's like you need to go to room on the Russian end of it, and you need to go to the third room and find the third camera and find this like little thing in a corner that you've totally missed, or scan the documents that's like stuck to the floor. Just use a guide. Like, I think it's honestly worth it. It's about maybe 4 to 5 hours long, max, maybe 4. And it was a really kind of impressive experience. Wear headphones, like it really captures, I'm on a fucking space station and it's spooky.
What's it available on?
I think I'm playing it on PS4, so I think it's on consoles. I think it's an Epic Store exclusive on PC, which is a pity. But yeah, I think it's on most things.
Cool.
Wear headphones. If you like space, play Observation.
Cool. That sounds great.
That sounds cool.
That sounds really, really good. Brian, tell us about Gato Roboto. So,
yes,
I actually saw this recently. Someone showed it to me, and I was like, I have to tell Brian about this.
It's really, really good. This is also published by Devolver Digital. This is also another 4 to 5 hour game.
What was the name of the octopus game?
Save Me Mr. Taco.
This seems like what we wanted Save Me Mr. Taco to be.
Yeah, no, like, this is as good as Minute.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, it's another chromatic pixel game where it's only in black and white.
It's beautiful.
Or monochromatic.
Yeah.
But you can unlock cartridges that change the color palette to be 2 different colors instead. So it could be the Matrix colors, which is that particular green, and a hard black. Or you can change it so it's inverted, which is cool. But it is a Metroidvania in which you play a little cat called Kiki, and she's in a mech suit, and you're exploring a distress call from a science research space station planet, I think. And you're just exploring it and trying to escape it. And the villain is a mouse in other mech outfits. He's kind of like Dr. Robotnik. He's in like bigger mech.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's very... It can be quite difficult at times, but also super satisfying. And the entire time there's a timer running in real time, so it's designed to be speedrun. And I enjoyed it a lot. And the cat is very good. Sometimes you need to get out of the suit and run around as the cat to go into like air ducts and spaces that the suit can't fit in. And with that, you just die in one hit. So that's kind of fun. There's one area where it's too hot, so you can't get out of your suit. And so you need to navigate that area without getting out of the suit and kind of solving puzzles in a different way. It's very, very well designed.
That sounds really cool. I'd definitely encourage people to look up a video of this, because I think it's only going to click when you see how, like, what it looks like.
Like, it looks so nice, and they have so much information with just 2 colors.
Yeah.
And like even like there's different areas. So like there's one where like it's underwater, and then there's like the big boiler room, but they have a heat haze effect done on the boiler room that looks super convincing.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have one where like it's supposed to be like a simulated outdoor area, so they have like leaves and mushrooms everywhere, but like the detail is very simple, but like it's all there.
Yeah. Cool.
It's I really, really, really enjoyed it. I played it in like 2 sittings, and it's like €8, I think, on the Switch.
Yeah, it's real cheap.
It's very, very good.
Sounds good. Okay, for this last game, I'm just going to throw the floor open to everybody, because we've all been playing this. Devil May Cry 5. Neve, I've been really curious about your experience with this game.
Neve had to play this game.
I did. Everyone I know was playing it, especially my girlfriend.
Sure is.
Yeah.
It was her Let's Fight a Boss promise to John.
Yeah, and I'm playing it. I am very mixed. I like the gameplay. I'm playing as I like Nero a lot.
Nero's great.
His gameplay has been clicking with me. V's gameplay, I like it. I like the novelty of it, but I feel like for me there's a bit of a disconnect.
I don't like V's gameplay at all.
I love it.
But Brian loves it. Rebecca loves it.
Rebecca loves it.
I don't click with Nero and Dante at all.
That's crazy.
It's so nuts that a game can kind of offer these three different like perspectives.
Yeah.
And kind of people will click whatever one. For me, Nero is making sense. You know, I like V, and I think V is cool. Like I like his animals. I like that they're animal companions.
He's a fun character.
But there's just like there's something about it where I feel like I'm not involved, even when I'm dodging and stuff. Like I just feel like I'm not really as present as I could be. A lot of the time
playing as V, I was waiting for enemies to die. You know, as opposed to like Nero or Dante, where I'd be doing shit. But obviously, like it's a taste thing.
Yeah, and even like I asked my girlfriend like why she likes it, and she even likes even that the camera is more pulled out and not so stuck behind a shoulder.
Yeah.
Like there's so many like reasons why different ones appeal, and like that's what I have to say good about it. I fucking hate the story of this game. And I feel like this way with every Devil May Cry I play is I have a very fun 15-20 hours, whatever they are, and I don't ever think about them again because I think the stories are just so garbage. Like I think the world is so dead and boring. Like it's London and demons have taken over.
Is it London?
Yeah,
it's kind of a fake London. Yeah.
It's fake Western America London.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think like the world is like rendered in a really like boring way. You look at one wall, there's graffiti like I want memes on it or dead. Then you spin around, look at the wall directly behind you. It's the same copy pasted graffiti.
I got some bad news. That's not really going to change.
No, it won't. And I know like once I get to the demon world, it's even more boring looking because it's just hell copy and pasted spikes all over the place.
For me, it was the Nidhogg puzzles you solve. And just that little fucking that baby demon that you feed to the mouth.
Oh, I like that. I think that's cool.
I think you do it once or twice and it's cool.
I'm like, oh, it's a door.
It's like aesthetically, it really, really does nothing. And because of that, like lack of world building, I think there's just that's in the story. Like it kind of positions itself as like the world is ending and people are dying and we need to stop this. But it's not about the people. It's not about the world. It's about those characters. And Dante fighting Virgil was novel and cool the first 3 times they did it. Dante's an old man now. Virgil's an old man. It's just like the world is ending because you can't put aside your grudges. It's just boring to me. Like the first few hours, Dante says, Nero, you're dead weight. And Nero's whole drive throughout the entire game is, how dare he call me dead weight? I'm not dead weight. And it's just...
I didn't even get that much, honestly.
That's it. Like, because that's all there is to him. Like, he doesn't want to be dead weight and he wants to prove he's not dead weight.
I just think he's a good boy trying to help everyone.
I just thought he wanted to look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. And
I can hear Foxcade, like...
dying, yeah.
He's
just
absolutely melting.
Crumbling.
You guys don't get it.
It's like, yeah, because I presume you have to probably read outside material, but I think the in-game stories and the world building of these games is just boring.
I'm just making up my own story when I play it.
Yeah, the metal music, like Devil Trigger's a good song, and
Hell
fighting
yeah,
as
it
Nero's fun, so I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I like Nico a lot. I think she's a great new character.
Yeah, I like Nico, I like Virgil, I like Nero. I think they're all pretty fun. Like I
Who are
enjoy
the other 2
cutscenes.
girls? There's Lady
and Trish.
Those poor girls.
Poor girls. Like, they're absolutely pointless in the story. They exist. I was asking Rebecca, why did Virgil, like, why are they kidnapped? Dunno. Is it to piss off Dante? Probably.
To summon their demon energy.
Oh, okay. Like...
That's my guess.
Like, what? It's just... They're there to be, like, titty fan service. If you're like, no, they're not. There's some deep reason why ladies there. There's not. She's titty fan service. That's fine if that's what you want. But, like, me playing that game, I don't care about the titty fan service.
Neve doesn't like a titty.
I like a good titty. I don't like a boring titty that's just a titty. Like, there's just so much.
Yeah, there's a concept.
Yeah.
It's just like
you've lost me, Neve. Like, just
Dante picking up a naked lady and then putting her bare ass on the fucking road and being like, rest here, and then driving off on his motorbike. It's like, and then she flicks back on her clothes, showing that she never needed to be naked in the first place. It's just fan service for the sake of fan service, and it's boring to me.
Sounds like Capcom at their best.
No, Capcom at their best is Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2, not Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Devil May Cry 5 is such a better game than Remake.
No, it is not.
Sorry, excuse me, that was wrong. Devil May Cry 5 is a better game than Remake 2. Nothing's better than Remake 1.
I think Remake 2
I'll see you at Game of the Year, Neve.
I think Remake 2 is better and 2 against 1.
Yeah, I like... It's crazy to me. There's so
I
much...
like Devil May Cry 5 as well, but like I'm bigger in Resident Evil.
The world is so tactile in Resident Evil, and it lacks so much texture in Devil May Cry. And I would love a Devil May Cry game where it is Nero and Nico going, maybe it's an open world game, but going through the world doing demon hunting. Like this whole, like, the world is going to end and Dante, son of Sparta, needs to fight Virgil.
But Dante is
so
back.
I was not into that until the final moments of the game. Then I thought they landed it really, really well.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure it's cool.
I don't think you'll care.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Yeah.
I've never cared about the rivalry. I think it's dumb. And, like, I think the whole, like, why does their mom look like Lady? Is Lady a clone of their mom? Like, what's that about?
I don't know. Go play Devil May Cry 1.
I've played them all. Anyway, so, like, again, like the gameplay, do not feel anything for that narrative or that world.
So I kind of described earlier that when we were in the elevator, and I said that to me, Devil May Cry 5 is Bloody Palace with a story mode, because I have gotten so into Bloody Palace and I love it so much. And it's like, I was not appreciating what playing as Nero was in the main story. I was using a lot of my Devil Breakers. I thought they were really fun. They're only like a fraction of what you do with Nero, and like learning to play him, like, I guess the way he's intended to be played, it has been like playing an instrument. Like, there's that fucking much to it, and it's been so cool and so satisfying.
Are you like constantly charging up his sword as like part of a rhythm that you have?
So I'm not charging his sword because I'm using Max Act, which means I'm hitting L2 every time I strike with his sword to charge him up 1 bar.
Okay.
But I am charging his gun all the time. So at any point, I'm doing those 2 things. I'm trying to dodge, I'm keeping track of his Devil Breakers. You unlock 2 more gameplay mechanics towards, like, right at the end of the game that are completely different to everything else he does, and they layer on top of everything else you already do. And it's fucking insane. And man, I love this game. Like, I love it. I think it's like the combat in Devil May Cry 5 is better than the combat in Bayonetta 2. I think I probably prefer Bayonetta 2 just because of the personality and the story. But man, Bloody Palace is just the coolest thing. Like,
okay, I'll keep playing. I'll get the Bloody Palace.
I don't know. I think, like, for me, I got about 2/3 into Devil May Cry 5, and the story started. I was like, okay, come on, I get it.
Yeah, because I'm really at that point now.
And then the end section really picked up a lot. I thought they really landed the whole, like, entire last boss sequence was fucking great. But I don't think that's going to alleviate any of your problems with it, Neve.
No, I really don't like the idea that they're just friends with Virgil at the end of it. He killed a lot of people. Why is that just... Oh, it's cool.
Because he's hot.
Yeah.
He's not really in this game.
But
oh no, his hair looks terrible in this game.
I know, but he's hot in their world. He's hot to them.
He was hot in 3. He was very hot in 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a long couple of years. Time has not been kind. Guys, we got some news to talk about in our quick time events. Guys, E3 happened.
It did?
Neve, you want to kick off this with a very special Devolver Digital discussion. Brian, did you watch Devolver Digital?
I did not. I have no eyes.
I have not. Me neither.
Well, I have 7. And I managed to watch Devolver Digital's conference. It was great. I just wanted to give this a shout out specifically because I love that they have done this every year and they still keep it funny. I love how they're using practical effects and corn syrup blood. Nina fucking Struthers is such a hilarious character.
She's brilliant.
And there's now a narrative arc to this. Like, there's an ending sequence to this that sets up the next conference so well that I'm excited for it. Like, I'm just like, can't wait to see where they bring this next year, because they just like, they have so much fun with it. What they show is cool. A lot of what Devolver Digital has put out, I've loved. Like, I loved Gris, I loved Observation, Ape Out. Like, I'm really hyped for them as a publishing company. They really seem to focus on these smaller experiences that are really high quality. And just the acting involved by, I think her name is Maria Zuck, who plays Nina Struthers. I might be wrong.
I think her name's Nina Struthers.
She's an IRL lesbian, so, you know, I stan. Her Instagram is just her and her girlfriend.
I'm going to cut you saying I stan from the podcast, because there's fucking shit I will not tolerate on this podcast, and that's fucking some of it, Neve.
It's just her wife, and her cute dog.
We're not on fucking Twitter now. No one knows what you mean in real life.
You can only type that word when you say it in real life.
And you shouldn't! You shouldn't! It's a stupid expression! That song is from fucking 80 years ago, and now it's fucking like slang language.
No, but
it's divorced from the song so much, John. Come on, language evolves.
But no one said it, and now it's back for no reason. Anyway,
I like that there's this kind of low-key, like, FF ship happening between Nina and Madge in the Devolver Digital stuff.
Is this like in your head or in real
no,
life?
No, it's in the thing.
I'm sure it is, Neve.
No, it definitely is.
I'm sure.
Absolutely, Neve. Yep.
Absolutely.
Lesbians as far as the eye can see.
Representation everywhere.
My cup runneth over. But Devolver Digital, really good conference. They're always funny. They always bring it. Can't wait for next year.
Awesome. Before we get into the other ones, we should probably have a little talk about the Sony State of Play. Basically, Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Yep. Started off as a Twitch stream with little like handprints over everything for a couple of hours. Then all the handprints turned into a trailer.
What are your thoughts on Death Stranding?
I'm psyched.
Sure. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready. 2019 is way sooner than I thought it would be. And I don't mean like as in...
Currently.
Oh, this year. I mean more like, it's going to come out.
The game is out in 5 months.
That's fucking insane.
I never thought this game would come out for the PlayStation 4.
Never. No.
I did.
But like, the game was first announced at E3 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So E3 2016. And at that point, it had only been in development about 5 or 6 months since the beginning of the year. And that was only enough time to do cinematics and have like a pitch, but not actually have gameplay. So to, you know, be 3 years later and actually be like, no, like, here's a AAA game, here's what it looks like, and here's the release date. That's such a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yeah, he either had a very strong vision that he needed to execute, or he was put on a very, very like tight production schedule by the people paying for this.
Yeah. It looks cool. Like, I'm looking forward to playing it.
It looks really, really experimental as well, and I think that's gonna benefit it.
Jack shit.
Perfect. Kojima's been calling it a Strand game. It's a new type of game, and like
that's funny. That's exactly what Yu Suzuki said before Shenmue. He said it's a free game.
A free game. Look at these savants creating genres.
These cool words they're using. I'm hoping with a lot of the motion capture with the actors, a lot of that was just improvised, and they were like, yeah, I like what you're doing, and then that's in the final game. Like, it's going to be like Twin Peaks a bit, where like they just use a mishmash it takes, but it just ends up in the final thing.
Have you guys seen the clip of Fragile eating the worm?
No.
It is maybe the most detailed chewing animation I've ever seen. It's so weird.
Fragile is Leah Sado's character, is it? Yeah.
It's the one with the kind of slicked back hair.
Yeah.
She's very pretty.
I really like how he seems to just be a postman.
Yeah, I'm down.
Like, I think that's cool. I like the idea of him traveling through the world.
Yeah, you're in this abstract like landscape painting as a courier service with ladders.
I just want to see a bunch of goths growl like Americana lines at each other. Like, that's all I want.
The location's kind of interesting. Like, you say Americana, but it looks very, I don't know, Northern Europe.
Yeah, it looks Scandinavian.
Yeah.
I more mean like the president of jack shit kind of.
I guess so. I like the aesthetic.
I agree with you. That's the world, but these characters, it's just going to be Kojima as shit.
Yeah, I really, really hope there's a lot of quotable lines, because like there are quotable lines in Phantom Pain, but there was less dialogue, so there was less funny bits.
How do you think this is going to play? Do you think it's going to be a lot of cutscenes, or do you think this is going to be like...
I'd say it'll be cutscenes at the very start, the very middle, and the very
this
end.
Game not being that long.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Like, Metal Gear Solid 1 is like 8 hours, if even.
Yeah.
Good length.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I hope this is cool. I really want this to be good.
Yeah, I like some of the callbacks to like Metal Gear games, like how like an orange threat ring appeared around Norman Reedus' character, but then he walked off it, and you're like, oh, that's not his threat ring. That's like an incoming enemy, and then like they all phase in.
Weird. Oh, that's such a odd troll.
Yeah.
Like, wow. That's
and just the fact that like there's no game over, your character can't die, you just get banished to another realm, which is like an upside down like black tar version of it, and you have to find your way back from that. So you don't want to get caught because it's an inconvenience.
The bad guys are called the Homo Demons, and they seem to be out to steal babies from the Straits.
And this is homo as in like Homo erectus.
Neve.
And
Well,
Homo
you don't know
sapien.
that. They just said Homo Demons.
Neve,
They
look,
didn't go, we mean Homo as in
know
Homo
you're-
erectus.
I know you're annoyed, but he's just saying what we're all thinking.
I think if you look at his recent games, he's very into cavemen at the moment. Sahelanthropus.
I'm just
was-
very into cavemen.
Yeah, Sahelanthropus was also a caveman. I just think like he read a National Geographic, and he like circled a bunch of stuff, and he was like, that'll look cool in English.
Do you
I feel like
think,
there's
like-
a roller derby team called the Homo Demons.
Probably.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Do you think
totally.
when he said it to literally everyone he's working with, they all went...
I think everyone paused for like 5 seconds and then just started slowly nodding.
Yeah, like... And he was like, and he's just smiling and nodding, and they're like, okay.
Okay, look, you know what? We're gonna say that to him later.
Yeah.
And then they see it in the trailer and they're like, oh, fucking knew there was something fun.
The live action, the motion capture actors, the cast are really good. Just a weird mix of people. The daughter from The Leftovers is in it.
Yeah.
A bunch of directors are also in it because they're nerds. Just it's a bunch of weird movie people.
Guys, I hope this game was good.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I hope the boss cast have new best game.
It could be our game of the
those
year.
guys don't fucking like anything. They won't like.
Just very dismissive people.
Just very dismissive people. Guys, the Microsoft press conference. Okay, so we have like, basically the way we've done this is we've written everything down and we have wrote down all the things we're interested in talking about. But before we do, I just want to like take a pulse. What did you guys think of the Microsoft press conference overall?
I didn't watch it really. I just watch highlights.
Started off strong, fizzled out so much.
I was like, wow, Microsoft are really doing it. Like, because I was like, this is their year. And like, I was saying that as someone who's not even that into the games they were showing, but I was just like, well, look, this is obviously for someone. People are going to love this. That was maybe the limpest console reveal I've ever seen.
Because I don't think it was one. Like, that was kind of like what they did last year
No
with
box,
it, you
no
know?
nothing, you know? And then like, kind of like, they talked up a lot of it, like the capabilities of this console.
Project Scarlett. Is that
And
what it
then
is?
they show a pre-rendered cutscene. And they could say the game's running in-engine. If a camera is moving like that, I don't consider it in-engine at all.
They didn't even say that.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, that could be on
Yeah, like, I
PS4,
don't
that could be
think- yeah.
anything.
And did you hear the scuttlebutt that it sounds like the PlayStation 5 is more powerful than the Scarlett?
I mean, it could be at this stage, but I don't think that... Like, I mean, the Xbox One is more powerful than Pro, and that didn't do anything for Microsoft.
Yeah, because the games have to be made up for both systems, and
Yeah, but
It's gotta be-
it just leaves me asking, like, what platform are Microsoft going to operate from if that's the case?
I think what Microsoft are going to focus on is their Game Pass, because that is kind of amazing
It is
what
good.
they're offering
Yeah, totally.
with it. All their first party stuff, day one. So let's get into Microsoft and what they showed there.
Let's do it.
They open with the new Obsidian game, Outer Worlds.
That's the Fallout-like.
Fallout, yeah, kind of.
I'm excited to play that.
Me too. I thought that trailer was a little... It wasn't as punchy as I thought it should be.
Here's the thing. I don't really remember.
It was that kind of like Bioshocky.
No,
like,
I know the game
you know,
we're talking
yeah.
about. I don't remember the trailer, which is not a great sign.
Starting off strong.
Starting off strong. But that game looks cool, and I am looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, me too. Then, like, the thing I've written down next is Jedi Fallen Order.
I really hated this trailer.
I don't think this game looks good at all.
There was a bit right at the end where it's like his little robot buddy says something in robot language, and he goes, "No, we can't do that." And it's like a punchline, and it's like, oh, right. Like every Star Wars movie ever.
A cheeky robot.
A cheeky robot. And it's like, yeah, I get that it's a Star Wars film and people want to see that kind of stuff, but it's like, put your own spin on it, and just the main character looks so just generic.
That's my problem with it, is how generic it looks. Like, you see plant life in it. It's green, you know, it's a fern.
Yep.
Some grass. It's like you've all of concept to deal. You know, you could do anything. And it just seems so lifeless. It looks like you're going through vaguely Star Warsy arenas to fight in. Like, oh, you know, the First Order kind of hexagonal like piping they have in the metal. It's just all of that around the place. It doesn't seem very bespoke, and I like Star Wars for the worlds. Like, you know, I think things look cool. I like the design of it. You know, I'm just a little bit disappointed with it. It looks kind of like Force Unleashed, but Force Unleashed even went a bit harder on the design.
Yeah,
I will play this, and I hope the story's good, because I don't think the world building looks
I hope
great.
these are just super neutered trailers, and I hope there's some real edge to this, because I feel like the cool thing about doing a video game spin-off of a major franchise is you can do fucking weird shit, and you should. And I hope that this marketing material is not like implicit of what these games will be.
Maybe they can't anymore. Maybe Disney, because like Disney like tanked all of the kind of outside canon stuff. So maybe they're like, you can't introduce new canon to these worlds anymore.
That's the feeling I got from it. I just feel like this is a very kind of sterile Disney thing. Guys, there's a Blair Witch game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the game from this conference.
Yeah,
I
this
was like, hell
cool.
yeah.
Over 20 years later, we're back.
There wasn't any actual gameplay, wasn't there? Not. It was just.
They showed some gameplay afterwards.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and they're in their after show. It's from the people who did Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty good horror pedigree.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's a bit like Outlast as well, because you've with the camcorder and all.
Man, this is the kind of idea where it's so obvious and yet no one's done it.
Yeah.
Although there was a Blair Witch video game way back when, but obviously I don't think it's very well. I think it was like a Resident Evil clone. This could be really cool. I think there's so much excitement. I love the idea of, here's your game, there's one enemy. You know, I think that's exciting.
I like that there's a dog involved, and the dog seems to be like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh no, this dog is going to die. He seems to be a core part of the gameplay. There's a command wheel. You can give him stuff to sniff, and his name is Bullet. He's a German Shepherd. He's very cute. And he will track things down, and you will follow him for you. So he seems very integrated in the gameplay.
Dave, what are you going to do when Bullet brings you back something spooky?
He's going to bring you back an arm.
I'm going to say good boy and then cry. That's one of the scariest, like, walking a dog, I'm always afraid my dog will find a body.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like because you always hear, like, oh, the walker found a body with their dog. I don't know.
Neve, what was that voice? Who's that character?
That's the news.
It's Mr. News.
It's Mr. News.
Neve, could you give us a few more lines as Mr. News?
Mr. News is here to talk about Bethesda.
Traumatized girl's dog found body.
Okay, we're gonna ship Mr. News off to marketing, get working on some merch, and that'll be out in the store soon, everybody. Thank you. Cyberpunk 2077. Do you want to just talk about Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, because that's what they seemed to. They were like, no, look, Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I thought Keanu Reeves was great.
Yeah, he is.
He was so psyched to be there.
A lovely
I'm sure
man.
He's never played a video game, but hell yeah.
Yeah. Like, I know he's kind of an otaku, but not really, because he's, you know, a professional human.
Yeah.
But like, he's there for the nerds. He knows how to talk to fans.
Yeah, I found him very endearing.
He's undeniably passionate about anything he puts himself into.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer was a little underwhelming.
It was just like a cinematic, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like, okay. Like, I just want to play that game at this stage.
Yeah, I
don't
feel the same about that game as I did like the last time I watched it.
The game's out in April of next year, is it?
Yeah.
I'll probably get it too, just because like it's an original IP and all that. I think it's kind of cool.
I don't like CD Projekt, but like they make interesting things. Or like, not to say I don't like CD Projekt. I don't like The Witcher. It's just it's always felt awful to me. But CD Projekt do some cool stuff, you know, and I hope this is cool. Way to the Woods.
This was super cute. This was the deer game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's made by one person.
One person. Ugh,
Who's way younger than us.
it's nuts. It's like a cel-shaded deer and a fawn making their way through the world. It's very, very cute. And just very fantastical. Like there was a giant cat that was bigger than the deers. And I like that a lot. It very endeared itself to me.
Yeah, I'd say it's only like a couple hours long, but it's very atmospheric, and I'm sure it's best played in one sitting.
Sounds like
It feels like one of those kind of games. I'm curious.
Gears 5.
I think I saw this bit. Is this the bit where they opened up the stage and, well, first of all, they had mistimed pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
And then the stage opened up and the camera went underneath the stage to a different monitor.
Where a bunch of wrestlers were?
We're playing it.
Why?
I kind of liked it. Like that, like the press conferences were just like pretty standard. And then there's this like moving camera.
It was actually kind of impressive.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of fun. They opened with like a kind of, you know, Gears is famous for its song trailers, and it had Billie Eilish's like song over a trailer. I thought the trailer was a little lackluster because it was just a head moving, but I thought the multiplayer gameplay of Gears looked cool. Like
Sure.
I was into it.
You were a former Gears of War clan member.
I was very into multiplayer Gears. I'd love to get back into it again in a big way. This game I think is out in September. It's out this year anyway.
And this is Gears of War 5.
This is Gears 5.
I
Yeah.
feel like
I figured Gears of War 5 would have already come out by now.
You see, this thing, I think Gears of War 4 really kind of came and went. I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people had much to say about it. Like,
No.
it seemed like a decent Gears game. Did you play it, Neve?
No, that's when I
Yeah.
skipped.
But
But I'm ready for more.
I think Gears is maybe struggling with its identity a little bit. I think like since they kind of Gears 3, which is like I don't know what that series is, and nothing about their messaging has cleared that up for me.
This felt more on point and kind of more had its identity back. Like I thought the multiplayer stuff looked really interesting, and I'll give it a go.
Okay, cool. Elden Ring.
The new
Yeah.
From Software game.
So we heard about George R. R. Martin's working on a FromSoft game. That's what this trailer was, and nothing else.
Yeah. This was a nice short film.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see a game someday.
Yeah, can't wait.
So this
Game
is
of the
my
Year contender.
So this is my theory of George R. R. Martin's creative involvement with this game.
Hit us.
2 years ago, he had 3 Skype calls with From Software, in which he wrote out a bunch of character sheets, and he went, "There you go," and they were like, "Thank you." And since then, he's been like, "Just send me stuff," and occasionally they send him stuff, and he's like, "I don't know about that," but then he looks at the check and goes, "Never mind."
Maybe.
I love the aesthetic of this so much. It all looks so cool.
So weird, like the fucking weird double jointed 5-armed thing that was all like bumpy as well.
There's a bit of a more stylized nature to it than that's been in their games.
Yeah, and like I'd be pretty okay with them going as weird as possible.
Yeah,
because I think Dark Souls and Bloodborne 2, like my favorite part of Bloodborne is finally finding the aliens.
Yeah,
you know.
I think From Software could do body horror very well.
Absolutely.
They've proven
they can
push that direction further and further, please.
But I mean, sure, like it's hard to have an opinion because there's kind of nothing on it. But yeah, I mean,
Keep making it.
I like George R. R. Martin. I like FromSoft. Let's do it. Halo Infinite Project Scarlett. Neve, you're the Halo fan here. What do you think?
They showed, so Halo is coming to the new Microsoft console. This is gonna launch with it. It's Halo Infinite. I didn't like this trailer much at all. I thought it was way less compelling than the original trailer they showed, which showed like the ring and just people walking in these locations. I thought this one was kind of boring a little bit.
From like the outside looking in, and like I played Halo back in the day and I really liked it, but that's kind of the extent of my involvement with the series. From the outside looking in, I watched this and I was like, why would I care about this game?
Yeah, like I thought it was weird to kind of present it with their new console and like it just being this pre-rendered thing anyway. So that was kind of weird, but just the whole thing just felt a little lackluster. And from what they've been saying, they want this to be a Halo to get people into Halo. But it was so steeped in you giving a shit about Master Chief, which I do. I love Master Chief and I love Cortana.
I feel like if your objective here is to make new players care about Halo, the whole crux of your announcement of this trailer being Master Chief is back is like, not really. And
just like the way they've revealed Master Chief before, like I remember, God, I think it wasn't Halo 5, maybe Halo 4, where he's like in the cloak and he's appearing on the sand dunes.
I remember that trailer, yeah.
Like they've done super good trailers for Halo.
That was a good trailer. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then the giant thing appears.
The trailer for Halo Reach, like they've done really cool shit. I thought this was just like, it could have been anything. Like he literally wipes some fog off a window and Master Chief is just this piece of floating space debris. And it was okay, fine. I like his armor. I like how green it is. It's greener than it usually is.
That's great, Neve.
But that's kind of what I can say. It was like, I like how green his armor looks.
They're making another Halo game. Like it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
You'll see him. There he is.
It's a shame because I really thought Microsoft, they were doing a pretty good job in their press conference up to this, and then it was just like, hey guys, we're gonna release Project Scarlett.
It was like the video version of the article of Sony's console specs, you know? And like an article worked for Sony.
I actually got more excited with Sony's console specs because I was like, holy shit, there's an SSD in there. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and no offense to the people who, like, they have this kind of video where it's people talking about what they want from the new console. Like, no offense to them whatsoever, but like, what they were telling me about the console was kind of mixed up with kind of like, oh, as an RPG gamer, I hate loading screens and elevators. And in my head, all I can hear is like, oh, I hate loading elevators, instead of remembering anything they really told me.
That really, because what you said was, as an RPG gamer, I hate loading screens. And later on, I was like, oh, the Mass Effect elevator thing.
Yeah.
But it really took me a while to get there. And maybe that's just me because I'm kind of a moron. But I was just like, wait, why do RPGs have more loading than any other game?
I don't know, and it was just like, it kind of, the message felt a little all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they should have just put the fucking specs up on screen.
I guess as a side note as well, for this E3, I felt there was a lot of like, you, the player. And I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like, no, fuck me.
Yeah.
You make the game you want to make, and then I'll play it. Don't make the game for me. I'm garbage. If I wasn't garbage, I'd be doing your job. I'd be making games. But I am. So just, you're an artist and you're cool. You make a game and I'll play it. You know? I don't know. There was so much like, the players are part of the development team. It's like, no, we're fucking not.
That's why we beta test and pay you have to pay for it.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought a solid press conference that fizzled out like a wet fart.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Brian?
Maybe they should move to a pre-recorded presentation.
You think so?
Maybe everyone should.
I think everyone should at this point. It's way more manageable, and they could still do the physical stuff with all the sets and, you know, explaining stuff in person afterwards. But I just think when you're on a stage, everything goes wrong.
Okay, perfect. So that's 1 out of the 5 press conferences. Guys, Ubisoft.
I'm sorry, you know.
So for this press conference, they don't have an Assassin's Creed, but they opened with the Assassin's Creed Orchestra, so they really wanted you to remember Assassin's Creed.
You know what was really funny to me is they were like all the iconic songs from Assassin's Creed. Now, granted, I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, or even an Assassin's Creed fan, but like I've never heard anyone talk about Assassin's Creed music.
Can I sing my Assassin's Creed song?
Brian, please.
Up above the rooftops, I have a knife in my hand. I'm the assassin Ezio. I'm feeling kinda grand. Jump, hop, leap to your heart. I'll fuck you up and whisper a sweet fart. That is the legend of my legacy. Come with me with this DLC.
That was pretty good.
That was really good.
That was really good, Brian. Well done.
Word for word.
Yeah, we'll get that to Ubisoft as quick as we can before the next game releases.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of Ubisoft or anything they do. I thought this was a really solid press conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was good. I like the Watch Dogs bit.
Yeah, I like the Watch Dogs
That
bit
bit was
too.
so-
I like the look of that game.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Although, you know what I'd change?
What?
Get rid of everything and just have me playing as the old lady.
As Helen.
Just fucking.
You can have an army of
man.
grannies if you
Yeah,
want.
just an army of grannies.
I actually want to show that clip to my granny because I think she'd really enjoy it. The bit where she like has to like jump over the railing.
Oh, it was so good, that animation.
Yeah. And she kind of shuffles away. She can't lift up both legs too fast at the same time, so she has to, like, she always has to have one foot on the ground at all times.
I thought like the tone of it starting off when it was like the kind of just Jack dude with the like bald head.
Oh, yeah, Ross Kemp.
I thought that was really funny because it was just like, oi, I'm a cheeky bugger in London.
One have a scrap.
We're gonna go scratch ourselves some mixies. 2s to the wind, 84 bacon sandwiches. Bob's your uncle. Like, it just sounded like that.
Yeah.
And, like,
And he puts on this fucking, like, skull crown mask.
So, the skull crown was interesting because in my head I went, that's dumb. But then another part of my head went, yeah!
Maybe we should all get this game and become hackers.
I think I might get this game because, like, I don't really care that much about Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 2 seemed kind of cool from the outside looking in. This seems like really ambitious.
Yeah, so the premise of this is Watch Dogs Legion, is that you can play as any NPC in the world. So you can take control of them, you can hack them. Everyone has stats that are like just randomly rolled, so you can choose based on the stats. You're like, okay, that person, it's going to be class-based, so there's 3 classes. You've got an infiltrator, a hacker, and an enforcer, so you're stealth, hacking, and brute force.
Punching.
Yeah, so you can kind of look at the stats and be like, okay, they're good at a hacker, and they're good at that. And just the idea that, like, any NPC in the world could be your protagonist seems extremely ambitious and cool.
I really want to know the limitations, because I get it's like you are the 99% facing against the 1%.
Which I think is like a nice evolution of shit they did in 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like that pretty much means like almost everyone is available to add to your legion.
It definitely like it adds a lot of logistical questions.
Yeah, they answered
Like how
a
many can
few
you bank?
things.
Like
There was a grid, and it looks like that maybe you could store like maybe 20.
yeah.
And there's permadeath, so if they die, they die.
I like that idea a lot because
Mhm.
I feel like you have your favorite operative and all of a sudden missions really, it's not just a case where you can keep doing them over and over
Mhm.
like you're going to lose your favorite dude, and I think that sounds really rad.
Yeah, it kind of gives a challenge to it, and it also means like no one's game will ever be the same, which is always a fun idea. I don't know how the story will play out with this in mind. I think it'll be interesting how they'll do it. I think no matter what this is, I think it's a cool project, you know?
My biggest problem with Ubisoft a lot of the time is just they do the same shit over and over and over, even across genres. They implement the same mechanics across everything. And I really lost a lot of respect for the company over the years, and seeing something like this makes me think like, oh man, they're really like trying to do something, and I think that's awesome.
How political do you think it'll get?
It'll be apolitical, and I bet they'll say it's apolitical.
I don't think so. I read an article because the director they got in is the guy who wrote Far Cry 2. From what he was saying about it, is it's political for him. I don't know if like Ubisoft themselves will come out there and be like, it's apolitical like all our games are, but like I don't think the director was pretending it was anything but.
Sure, but I also think this is from the same producer that say The Division 2 is apolitical.
I know, like
Yeah, they want as
Yeah.
many people as possible to buy this game.
but like
we
it
don't
can't
want-
be like it's
I mean, The Division 2
it's just
be.
not like none of them are
the-
like they're all political. Everything's
Yeah.
political. Everything.
Yeah, but they don't want to piss off like a group
No, they don't.
because their sales are so important.
People are dumb.
Yeah.
Very true. For Honor, Shadow of Hitokiri.
Is this some sort of samurai game?
For Honor is like, Ubisoft's medieval multiplayer game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought this looked like really cool DLC. It's all based around this like one like samurai woman, and she looks like a just fucking monster badass in the way I don't think women really get to look like a whole lot in video games. And she looks rad. If this woman was a wrestler, I would watch her matches. And I just wanted to shout her out and say I thought this was really cool. Division 2 movie.
Is this for Netflix?
That's what they said. It was basically like this line at the end of it. They were like, and we're doing a Division 2 movie. It's going to be on Netflix, and it's going to star Jake Gyllenhaal and what's her name?
Oh, the ginger woman who is in Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes.
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica's Chastain. Thank you, bro.
I'm not a fan of her.
What else she been in?
She's in The Help, and she's in this Aaron Sorkin movie where she's so fucking obnoxious.
Man, I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast.
She's
gonna
does.
be very upset.
Jake also listens. Hey, Jake.
Hey, Jake, buddy, how's it going?
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. They also have some DLC and like episode 2 coming for Division 2. You get to fight in the zoo, and one of the cool things the Division 2 does is it uses its museums and its locations to kind of mix up the environment in a really fun way.
I hear
So
the
that sounds
interiors
cool.
of that game are a lot better than the exteriors.
Oh yeah, totally. Like a mission will take part in a museum with like NASA stuff, so you're like on Mars with like
That's fun.
like lunar like rovers around. Like it's cool. Like, but yeah.
Roller Champions.
So this is their roller derby game.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's out in beta right now. Just put this down here because there's a roller derby game.
If you didn't think there was one before, there is now.
There is now.
Awesome. Great content.
What's next?
Gods and Monsters.
They just did a little preview of this. It's from the team who did Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so it seems to be more Greek mythology, but in a more kind of high contrast Breath of the Wild style. Again, it was just a teaser, and they're like, this E3 had very little gameplay with a lot of the stuff they showed.
I think I saw a figure, and it was like five different like press conferences. 4 gameplay demos.
Nuts.
Yeah, a lot of cinematics. They are doing gameplay demos on the show floor
So maybe that's
the day
it.
after, but I think a lot of their press conference stuff on the first day is cinematics because they don't want to demo something on the stage because it never works.
But even just like play some gameplay or put it in a cool like music montage. But anyway, this was just a teaser. It looks nice. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. And that's going to bring Ubisoft to a close, which brings us on to Bethesda.
Oh wait, before we leave Ubisoft, Bam Bam the dog was cute.
Sure. We call that cheap heat in wrestling.
What? Cheap heat?
Yeah.
Where they bring out...
You say the name of the town, and you'll get just a pop from the crowd automatically, or you bring a dog out.
Yeah.
Cheap heat.
I'll take any cheap heat if it involves a dog.
It's what the people want.
Yeah.
It's what the people want. So, Bethesda. Okay. I have a few notes on Bethesda, and the first one is that Todd Howard fucking sucks. I don't like this guy at all, and I don't like him for 2 reasons. Okay, first of all, there's a tone that game developers have that drives me fucking insane, and it's this kind of, "Aw shucks, we made a bad game and fucking lied to people and cheated people and have irreparably damaged the name of this fucking classic series that so many people care about." When it's like, oh, some people were angry over Fallout, and it's like, people were angry over Fallout because you botched every fucking possible, like, this thing was rushed out, like it was
Bad
like,
game?
it's more than a bad game, it's like a broken product, like it's fucking anti-consumer, you know? And just the way he comes out and is like, oh, we did a bad, it's like, fuck off, Todd Howard. More like Todd Coward. If good games were scary anyway, because it doesn't matter. But then, like, the other part of it as well was he was like, and people are so nice in Fallout 76, and it's like, dude, like, one of the biggest flashpoints for this game was of like these, like, just incredibly homophobic players just like bullying these fucking
They
guys.
got permabans.
Yeah, and it's like, look, that's not Bethesda's fault. They didn't do that. But at the same time, in the light of that happening and you being like, everyone's so not, fuck you, Todd Howard.
And like they've no tools within their game to report harassment or anything. So of course it looks nice if there's no one being like,
Yeah, we've gotten like 0 complaints.
no
this
reports.
entire time.
Like none. It's like, yeah, because you didn't build in the tools, Todd.
Yeah, I don't like that man.
No, he's not a good person.
No. But yeah, and then they got an applause. Literally, they got an applause for we're adding NPCs and quest lines. And it's like, what fucking world are we in where people are applauding that? It's like, yeah, there's these characters in the game, right? But like they're not controlled by players. We've gone in there and we've pre-programmed dialogue into them that they will say when the player comes in contact. How fucked up is that? And people in the press conference are like, "Hooray, we've done it!" And it's like, you people are morons.
I'd love if Nintendo came out and were like, "Guys, we've heard you loud and clear. Mario can jump."
Yeah. It's like adding NPCs to a Fallout. Like, when they didn't put them in, everyone was like, that's a bad idea. Your games hinge on those NPCs. And they were like, no. And now they're like, hey. And then they were like, and they're free.
Don't worry.
Thanks.
Yeah, cool.
Man, they should go play a little game called Final Fantasy 1. Anyway, things picked up a little bit from here, though, because Ghostwire looks rad. Now,
Fuck yeah.
Granted, just a concept trailer, I have no idea, but like Shinji Mikami, and you know what? Freaking forget Shinji Mikami. We got that other person whose name I forget.
Ikumi Nakamura.
Okay, if Ikumi Nakamura had come out and said everything that Todd Howard had just said, I'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, you did your best.
But she wouldn't, because she's
She'd
cooler
never
and
fuck up
better
like
than
that.
that.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
she's a human being.
Yeah. Who has talent.
I think it is a little hard to get like psyched about just pre-rendered footage. This had a cool tone.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty psyched for
This is about the rapture.
Yeah.
The missing.
The Samurai Ghost Rapture. Right?
It looks cool.
Yeah. I want to know more about this game.
And like, we've been fans of The Evil Within 2 specifically.
He's one of the most underrated games of the last decade.
I'm really excited to see them do something that isn't survival horror, but is still, as you said, spooky.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like I'm hyped. Again, yeah, concept trailer, but a cool concept.
Yeah, really cool, and she seemed awesome, and I have high hopes for this.
What's the studio called? Tango something?
Yeah, Tango Works, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Death Loop.
This was one with the trailer where it was like a top-down view of...
Oh, the 12-minute thing.
No, that was 12 minute. Deathloop is like the two characters killing each other over and over
again.
yeah,
that looked kind of cool.
Oh,
yeah.
That had a real like kind of 80s B-movie vibe.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It's from the makers of Dishonored.
Oh, yeah. I know the one now.
I thought those character models could have done with some more time in the oven.
Do you think?
If I'm thinking of the right one.
I don't know. It was a pre-rendered concept trailer again, so I thought it looked very like swish.
I think I'm thinking of a totally different game.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the State of Decay trailer.
Yeah, okay, no, not this. This was like two characters killing each other. Again, a concept. Dishonored devs came on stage and said, like with all our gameplay, you can go at it your own way, and it kind of multi-ended. And I think it's an interesting concept. Again, not much more to say because we don't exactly know how it plays or what it is, but as a concept, it seems cool and it's exciting.
Cool. That's going to do it for Bethesda. Moving on to Square Enix.
A company we all feel safe, with.
I don't.
Whoa.
I don't. I thought this was a much better press conference than their conference last year. Their one last year was like a joke.
That was insane.
Yeah.
The best thing out of that was The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
Brian, do you remember? Sometimes I think back to us playing The Quiet Man.
That was a dream that happened to us physically.
I wish we had recorded that.
I did.
Did we?
It's on our Instagram stories.
Oh, but that's not,
Well, we could do it. Let's just see how we get on.
Do you think we should do the English trailer? Man, I can imagine the patrons flooding our Patreon, or like leaving our Patreon like rats fleeing a sinking ship if that's what we did. Anyway. Okay, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I talked a lot of shit about this game the last time we talked about it. I thought this looked much better. I liked what they detailed about the gameplay engine. That put a lot of my fears to rest, because I just didn't want Final Fantasy 15 again. For reasons I've documented elsewhere. But the active time battle thing, I was so happy to see how they've worked that in. That is a really smart evolution of that system, and in theory it seems great. My only worry is that the enemies won't be designed to take advantage of that, because what feels like is happening with a lot of Square Enix games is the gameplay system is designed in one room and the enemy behavior is designed in another. They have to work together. They didn't in 15. If they do in this, I think this could be actually pretty cool. What do you guys think?
They showed Tifa. I think her
we'll get to that.
design looks cool. I think the character models I really like. They've made every single character super sexy. Like, that was their mission statement. Everyone has to be sexy.
Barrett's so fucking hot.
I went a little lightheaded when Sephiroth showed up.
Like, they're all sexy.
They have taken that man and like pumped him full of estrogen in a really interesting way.
I guess where I get skeptical with this, because I want to be excited about this. I want to really like it. I really don't like the release model for it at all.
Oh, like the whole thing.
The fact it doesn't even say episode 1 as the title.
Yeah.
Like today at work I was talking to people about it and I was like, that's like not a full remake. It's only like the Midgar and maybe a tiny bit afterwards. Like that, they were like, what?
Yeah, their messaging has been super confused and not clear. It's like, and people on, like, if you say episodic, like some Twitter troll will be like, it's not episodic, it's not Life is Strange. Fine. Multi-part.
Neve, did that happen?
It just happens everywhere. It's where I see everywhere. Like, if you see anyone criticizing it, there's some little gobshite underneath being like, stop saying episodic.
Gobshite.
Like,
they are gobshites.
They are gobshites.
That's
it's
such
so
a good,
annoying.
yeah, I think that's a perfect description of a gobshite.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, be really pedantic about it. But I really don't like that this, like, Final Fantasy VII is a game that has a lot of love and nostalgia for it. People will buy this, and Square know that. They know they have this kind of golden cow that they can only milk once, and they're gonna milk the crap out of it. Jason Schreier was talking to the director of it afterwards. Not the director, not Nomura, the producer. And they said they don't know themselves how many parts they're gonna be. It really scares me that there isn't an outline for this.
Don't worry, I actually know another series that turned out really well.
Yeah. It's gonna work out.
We'll never get to fight Sephiroth. He just leaves on a helicopter in the second game. Bye.
Guys, you gotta fund a Kickstarter to get Sephiroth in the game.
And I like the idea that these characters will be fleshed out more, that there's going to be more dialogue, more personality. I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
that worries me a little bit for two reasons.
Go on.
One, I just finished playing through the Midgar section of original Final Fantasy VII. That is tight. And it is incredible how well it establishes this weird, like, love triangle between Tifa, Cloud, and Aeris. This weird tension between Aeris and Tifa, like Cloud's relationship. Like, just it established, like, every line of dialogue in that is establishing something new, and it's fucking awesome. And there's no chaff. There's no, like, Final Fantasy 15. Say what you will about the localization. There's a lot of good, well-paced shit in that. And when I see them being like, we're gonna take that section and, like, spread it out into a full game, that's when I get a bit worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's 40 hours of gameplay in Midgar.
I don't want there to be.
Either do I. Like, Midgar is my least favorite part of Final Fantasy
and, like,
VII.
I think like, what's important about Final Fantasy VII is that feeling of leaving Midgar and being like, holy shit, you know? Like, that is such a big moment.
And there's so many just, like, how does this work? Like, when does this end? Does it end when you meet Sephiroth? Like, does it cut to black there?
It probably ends in the lab.
So,
yeah, does it end when you fight Genova for the first time?
It does. I
think it ends when you fight Genova and then flee the lab, fight the machine, and then leave Midgar. But
there's no chocobos in this game.
There's going to be no chocobos. But I think what's going to happen is Cloud's going to be walking around and Sephiroth's going to be like, Cloud, and Cloud's gonna swing around. There's gonna be no one there, and then Sephiroth will be behind him and be like, "Looking for me," and like I think that's what they're going to turn this into, and that sucks because a whole thing with Sephiroth is he doesn't fucking give a shit who Cloud is. You know, he doesn't care, and.
So that means, are they going to write in new characters, new scenarios? When does that stop being 7 then, you know, like... And then, what does it mean for leveling? Say if I really like this game and I want to keep playing it over and over and I get to level 99. Going into part 2, does my level carry over and I'm then like... And I'm overpowered for the start of 2? Does it have a level cap? I think they could do something where your character, like Cloud, doesn't have a level, but maybe abilities have a level up to, say, level 5 fire, and you can reach that level and things.
They actually did a lot of really interesting stuff in 7 with leveling up abilities. Like the way you could level up materia and then like make it give birth to other materia was cool. Maybe
you've limited materia that only materia levels up and the characters don't, but there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that come with a Final Fantasy game that will have to be rethought for this restructuring. And I just don't like how they've put a lot of work into their collector's edition that's over $300, but they don't know how many parts are going to be in this story.
Can I talk about Tifa?
Go on.
I really wanted buff Tifa, but this Tifa's pretty good.
We all wanted buff Tifa.
They changed Tifa's socks, and some people are upset about it. Some people are delighted.
What are the changes? I didn't know.
They gave her thigh highs.
Yeah, so now she has absolute territory.
Ah, okay. I mean, sure.
People are like, you censored Tifa because she's wearing an undershirt. The fact that people think that a redesign is censorship is so dumb. If you think that's censorship, you're an idiot. You're actually a moron and a gobshite.
Yeah, an actual...
Probably going to cut that now, guys.
You know who you are because you listen to this fucking show.
Yeah, you're just fucking the worst.
Go nuts, because all this is cut. Because anytime you actively assault the audience is when
our audience
we are going to go to your house and we're going to give you a swirly.
I think this because I cut this shit every time.
We're going to give you a knuckle sandwich.
Brian, that's an awful thing to say to someone.
I'm gonna give you a wet willy.
Brian,
I'm gonna give you an atomic wedgie.
Anyway, are people actually getting upset about that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's the internet. You have to be upset about everything all the time.
It's not like more sexual.
Look,
maybe for some people, but people are like, they covered her legs and thus this is censorship and the world's on fire and the SJWs are winning.
Guys, cut down your plastic and fix Tifa's legs.
Okay, that's a lot. Do you know what worries me about this trailer?
What?
This trailer I thought it looked really good. I thought this was a really good trailer. I'm left with a lot of questions, but I feel way better about Final Fantasy VII than I did a week ago. Square sure do know how to make good trailers. In fact, I would say the Leviathan trailer for Final Fantasy 15, one of the best fucking trailers in the world. Amazing. What a 10 out of 10 trailer.
They hooked you like a fish.
They hooked me like a giant summoned fish. I hope this game's good. I really hope it's good. Genuinely, like, if Final Fantasy 7 remake comes out and it's great, I'll be delighted and I'll talk all fucking day about how great it is. Final Fantasy 8 remaster.
This is such a relief.
I am really pumped about this.
I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. This is all I wanted from this conference, was to get this, and it happened.
Yeah.
So they found the source code. Maybe what happened was
Laura-san moved some books aside.
That's the missing floppy disk. It's coming out later this year on the Switch, so I know 7 and 9 came out already, but they'll get to just backtrack and squeeze it in.
I have a lot of really cool memories of 8, and I know people talk a lot of shit about it, but like, I remember loving that game. I'm looking forward to going back and playing it.
I'm really shocked that a lot of people don't like it.
The junction system is not that complicated.
No, it's not. I really like that because then you can just pass it over to another character.
It's rad.
Yeah, anyway, it looks cool. I do have a slight complaint because it's me, and of course I do. Squall's hair is the hair from, what's their fighting game?
Oh,
Dissidia.
Yeah. Where it's darker brown and a little bit more spiky. I like his old hair where it was a lighter brown and a little longer and he tucked it behind his ear.
A little less anime. And now it doesn't match up with cutscenes. But that's just a tiny, tiny, tiny little thing that bothered me.
I'm just very excited that this exists and people get to play it.
Brian, what do
again.
you know about Final Fantasy VIII?
It's got a gun sword.
Brian, tell us the entire story of Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay. So this guy called Squall, and he needs to buy a new jacket. But he accidentally ends up in outer space. Says to the girl, it's fine. We can go to a different mall on a different planet. Goes to this planet. 5-year time skip.
Shit.
They all have new jackets. And then someone's like, hey, check out this sword. You can shoot people. And someone gets shot, and there's a 5-year time skip. And all of a sudden, everyone has these gun swords and jackets. And then he wakes up, it was all a dream. Oh, and there's also a card game.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good.
That's it.
Yep. Can't wait to play that game again. The Jacket Saga. Dragon Quest XI on Switch. Look, I just included this to say people should play that game. Switch is a perfect platform.
It's coming out at the end of September. I can't wait.
It's an absolutely fantastic time. This game does absolutely nothing to like revolutionize RPGs, but does everything to the absolute best of its ability. It's just a beautifully made, fantastic game. People should play it. And we also got Shadowbringer. Should I play Final Fantasy XIV? Because this looked cool.
It looked really cool. I don't know if you'd like that. Have you
is
ever
this
played an
DLC
MMO before?
or what is it?
I have played World of Warcraft. And I didn't like it because you couldn't. I decide when I punch, damn it.
I don't know, like, I like it, but like I like MMOs.
So you know, there's some games they've brought in like MMO combat to single player games, and I'm like, get this fucking trash out of here.
Well, you're queuing your attacks, you know exactly which ones to use. Like, it's like this one, this one, this one.
You're playing
like,
the menu.
Yeah, like you pick your class and then you're like, I press this button first, then this second, then this third, and then I repeat that process.
Is this DLC or what is it?
It's an expansion. It's their new expansion.
But it looks so cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff in 14, like a lot, but you also have to go through a lot of mundanity and killing bugs.
John, I think you should start playing this game. Like, you got loads of free time.
If anyone wants to play
I do have
it,
a lot of free time, that's true.
I really recommend attaching a keyboard and mouse to your PlayStation, because that's how I play it.
Okay, you've just completely unsold me on this entire
Okay, cool.
process.
Gotta type that shit in.
Outriders.
This is a game from the makers of Bulletstorm. And it was really funny because the guy on stage was like, any Bulletstorm fans? And there was just like,
What the fuck is Bulletstorm?
Again, this was another concept trailer, no gameplay. I thought the trailer looked cool.
I don't remember.
It's a shooter. There was a girl who looked, a woman who looked like a bit like Furiosa.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, she had short hair and a lot of eyeliner that was messy.
Just a messy woman.
But I liked when he got on stage and he was just like, this is a single player that we focus, a shooter that we focused on a lot on the narrative, and there's drop in, drop out co-op, and I will keep an eye on it and hopefully it's good.
Yeah. And they also some like weird half update to like Final Fantasy All the Bravest, which is like its own gameplay mode. I don't know what the fuck. There was some nice concept art. I liked the character art for the mobile game.
Yeah.
That's all.
Crystal Chronicles coming to Switch.
Cool.
Yep.
There you go, everyone.
Yep, there you go, everyone.
You can go to sleep easy now.
Yeah, I'm sure someone wanted that.
Crystal Dynamics are making a new game.
Avengers.
This game looks like shit.
Yeah,
that looks
doesn't
like
it?
so bad.
I just saw it and I was like, I hate this.
I'm really glad because I was worried this would be another like big budget superhero game where you'd both be like, yeah, this, and I'd be like, no.
When has that happened, John?
Spider-Man.
We both fucking hated Spider-Man.
My point, Neve, is that you bought it, not that you hate it. That you fucking looked at the trailers for that game and I was like, yeah, this looks good. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And then you hated it. And then I had to edit down your Game of the Year section because you were both so angry about that and I didn't want everyone to get super pissed.
Yeah, why the fuck do people like this?
Brian, okay, no, yeah.
Okay, do the people who like Spider-Man like this Avengers game?
Brian, you can't.
Who's this for?
Like, who is this for?
Okay, here's my problem with this game. At some point, someone said the line, you set him up, I'll knock him down.
Oh, see, they're working as a team.
I rest my case.
This trailer was really bad, and I don't mean just like directed bad. The sound mixing was bad. I couldn't hear what a lot of them were saying.
I couldn't read their faces because they didn't have faces. They had thumbs with a face drawn on it.
The tone is just so like self-serious, and there was just so like, we failed him, and it wasn't like bombastic as a trailer. It was a bad trailer, but the game looks like garbage. They didn't have the rights to the actors' faces, and I don't know why not.
Yeah, so they made these weird, not sexy people.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it. Make someone sexy at least.
Laura looked really not sexy.
All of them looked unsexy.
Tony Stark looked like shit. And like usually for me with Tony Stark, I'm like, man, that is such a weird beard that he's really dedicated his time to. With this, he just looked like someone that was at Woodstock in a mech suit.
It looks like bad cosplay by someone who didn't bother. Like the person who doesn't bother wear a wig.
Do you know what bit really shocked me? Hulk jumps out the plane. Then it cuts, and Bruce Banner jumps out.
Yeah.
Then it cuts, and he's
You don't
Hulk.
see the transformation.
And I was like, whoa, no that's like the part.
Yeah.
And Crystal Dynamics have been working on this for ages. They didn't make Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so this has been in development for a really, really long time. This does not look like that.
It looks like a Christmas dinner made in a microwave. It looks like crap. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, is that her name? Her hair is constantly clipping into her fucking shoulders. It's that weird length where it's like, cut it shorter.
I feel like at this point I should say, listen, I know we're negative about a lot of stuff in this episode, but there's also been a lot of stuff we really liked.
Yeah.
And we're just being real, okay? We don't like shitting on stuff, but we will shit on stuff when it is required.
That is the ugliest Captain America I've ever seen.
He's supposed to have the ass of America. What's going on there?
Does Thor not have the ass of America?
No, Thor is the ass of Asgard. That's why it's called Asgard.
Oh wait, what did he say in the...
No, it's Cap who has the ass of America.
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
Steve Rogers is bringing major ass.
I'm going to need you to reiterate that story to me after this.
Okay, but like, it looks so bad, and they ended on it. And it was just really weird, and I felt really... The Crystal Dynamics can make a good game, and they can make a good-looking game, but this one doesn't look like any of these things.
This looked bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But then they brought out all the... Or no, they at the end they had the voice actors who seemed to be more priority than the characters they were playing.
Yeah.
So they have, the two Drake brothers are there. Some other people are there too.
Nolan North, was it?
Yeah,
Sure.
Nolan North and Troy Baker are both in this game.
Both of them.
Was
To
it
play the
Nolan
one
North
character.
or Troy Baker who came to a con in Dublin?
Troy Baker, and he was charging like $50 per autograph. Because he came free of charge, but then he was like,
That's how much I'm going to charge at Anime Expo.
Yeah.
I think that'll go down really well.
I think it would.
I think I'm going to make maybe $50. Like, there'll be someone, right?
Yeah, when you're crying and nobody's there.
Oh god, please, people come to my panel and autograph signing at Anime Expo. Okay, last one. Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it. Moving on to emails. Okay, so I guess we're going to lump in the Pokemon Direct.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Pokemon?
No, not since they first announced it. And they also did a Mario Maker Direct in advance as well. Just because, like, there's no point wasting E3 time on those games.
Yeah. I think that Pokemon game looks really bad.
Yeah.
I have like no opinion on Pokemon whatsoever.
I stopped playing Pokemon 3 games ago.
I really feel like the idea of blowing your Pokemon up to like kaiju size and having them fight, I don't know, that's really like not what I go to Pokemon for. That's...
Is that this game's version of the Mega Evolutions?
Yes.
Okay, then there you go. Like, you know how there was that one Pokemon game where they kept pushing triple battles and you didn't want to do it?
Yep.
But they kept making you do it?
Yep.
And they have that open field and it has the illusion of Breath of the Wild where it's like, see that mountain? You can go there. But with this version, it's like, see that mountain? That's a skybox. Because, like, the only way you can navigate that area is via naturally crafted ramps built into the set design.
But yeah. That's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Still. Yep.
It'll do really well, and the wolves are neat.
Yeah. It's cool that they put a Dark Souls boss in there.
Yeah.
The Mana Collection. So I was really excited about this because Secret of Mana, one of my favorite games ever. Those games are fucking cool. only disappointment is like, did you guys see the price of this?
No.
So it's a Game Boy game, a Super Nintendo game, and a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah,
$40.
Not great.
Not great.
no,
A lot of content for $40, but like even I think even 30 would have been pushing it. You know, like those games are ancient.
the Game Boy game, is that the first Final Fantasy? Is that what that is, or is it
No, it's the first Mana game.
the first Mana game?
Yeah.
Okay, because it came up as Final Fantasy, or am I imagining something else?
I think it might have originally been like Final Fantasy Mana or some shit like that.
Okay.
But I don't think it's the first Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, okay.
But that said, it's really cool that Senkenku Detsu, I don't remember. The third Secret of Mana game has a release in the West because it never got that before. And I downloaded and played a fan translation of that. It's a cool game. Maybe not as good as Secret of Mana, but it's got this. It's really ambitious. It's like you pick you can pick from 6 characters at the start of the game. You pick 3 of them. You play as 3 of them individually, and then they all come together, and their stories do all these like weird and interesting things. It's cool. So yeah, just the price of it is a little.
It'll go on sale.
I
I'd
hope
say
so.
pretty
I
quick.
really do because I'd like to play it. No More Heroes 3.
Like an actual mainline No More Heroes game.
Yep.
Did he lie when he said you had to buy the other one?
What are you talking about? Everyone love Travis Strikes Again.
They're like, you need to buy Travis Strikes Again or we won't make it
It was probably
in development.
I might have
Yeah.
bought 40 copies of Travis Strikes Again.
it was probably tilting on a deal that may or may not have gone through 6 months ago, but it went through, and they were able to do that cinematic 2 months ago, and it's going to happen.
I really like this trailer. The idea being there's no more heroes anymore because Travis has killed them all and it's only him left, but oh no, aliens are invading. Like, sure, let's just do this. I'm excited. Give me 10 more assassins. Let me fight them all. Have them talk for like 5 minutes before a fight. Have my cat Jean in there. Maybe Jean can fly now. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. Bring Sylvia back. Just let Sylvia be an asshole. I'm excited. Let's do this. Game of the year, guys. Come on.
Travis has a skateboard, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, why not? Maybe there's no lightsaber anymore. Maybe it's just a sword now. It doesn't matter.
He made a Star Wars reference in the... There's going to be a lightsaber.
This literally a moment where Darth Vader in No More Heroes 1 says, "I am your father." Like to
Cool.
Travis Touchdown.
You know how he's based on...
And then an MMA girl punches a hole through him. It's great.
You know how he's based on Johnny Knoxville? I hope
Yeah.
there's like a shopping cart, and he does a shopping cart.
That'd be cool.
Because you know how the first game he had a motorbike, but then the second game they got rid of the open world,
Yeah.
and it was just a menu system.
Yeah.
Because,
People didn't like that open world bit. If you took the time to learn how to ride that motorbike, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
No More Heroes 1 is the greatest game of all time.
Okay.
Yep. Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
This is coming out later this year. They still don't have a release date, but it is out in 2019.
I think the idea that you can suck the ghosts into your Hoover and slam them is really fun.
Yeah. This looked really good. It looked like they've developed the mechanics of the previous 2 Luigi Mansion game and are really having a lot of fun with it. Luigi was in the 3DS remake of the GameCube game, but it was just like a player 2 character. But the fact that this is something you with like an AI buddy system that you switch between the two, and it looks like Luigi kind of passes out.
Is his soul made from goo?
I think so.
That would really be not surprising. Like, it's Luigi. He's kind of
grimy.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
cool. Brian, could you read this next one out, please?
Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's not that surprising, really, though, is it?
I was shocked.
Oh, yeah? Did you not see that, like, Nintendo and Microsoft have been kind of working together on a bunch of stuff recently? And
Yeah,
this was
Cuphead.
super obvious. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking delighted. I've been waiting 20 years for Banjo-Kazooie
I'm
to be in
delighted. I'm
Smash.
probably not going to download them.
I'm happy for you.
Why won't you download them?
We'll see.
Don't you have the Fighters Pass?
I mean, I don't. It's more the news of this that has me excited.
Because of...
I like that fake out with the Duck Hunt dog.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really fun.
So,
yeah.
was this in one of our predictions?
Brian, you were such an asshole over this. You should go back and listen to that podcast.
I never listened to this podcast. Why would I?
Why would you do that?
Why would I listen to myself?
Sometimes I export a version of this podcast where it's just me talking and I listen to it.
Jesus. I find with Nintendo, because being a Nintendo fan in 2013 to 2015 was a difficult time.
Yeah, I remember.
And it really makes you dismissive of the brand. And I find that since then, if I am very doubtful of Nintendo, it comes in my favor. I'm going to continue to be dismissive and doubtful of Nintendo.
Because you love them so much.
I hate them.
Who did you say you thought would be in it then? What was your prediction? It wasn't Banjo, was
I
it?
think
Mine was Banjo, yeah.
Yours was...
How do you
I think
two...
it must have been yours that was Banjo.
Okay, so the first thing that happens in our Game of the Year prediction is I'm like, oh, well, let's start off with an easy one. They're going to do a Final Fantasy VII trailer. And you two are like, no! And that lasted for like 20 minutes. And I was like, no, they will. They totally will. And then later on, I was like, okay, let's do another one. Who's going to appear in Smash? And I was like, Banjo. And Neve, you probably sided with Brian because you two fucking hate me so much and it fucking pisses me off so much.
Yeah, we do.
And Brian, you were just so... People should go back and listen. You were so adamant that Banjo wasn't going to be in it. And
no, why would he?
Don't understand
I still don't believe he's in
it
Smash.
makes me that you don't remember this. Because I wanted to rub your nose in it, but because you deleted the memory, I literally can't. And it's like, you win again, Brian. You win again.
You know
I
what?
thought Brian just was like, Banjo will be in it. I thought you were like Goemon or some shit.
I think my prediction might have been Leon Kennedy, which still could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
But you know what? The best thing about... The best thing is a Capcom character. The best thing about being Brian is being Brian. And it's pretty good.
On the subject of that, Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to Switch.
Oh yeah, I really like how the 5 in the Resident Evil 5 logo, the top part of the 5 is so long. I was like, that's not how you draw a 5.
It looks like giraffe.
It would
yeah,
be
it
if
does.
you were a zombie.
No, giraffe is 6. The 6 is the giraffe.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all like pointy and hooky. The hero from Dragon Quest is also in Smash. He's got 4 different versions of him.
I thought he looked pretty boring other than that. Like,
yeah.
if those are just 4 different Echo Fighters...
I was like, oh, cool sword guy.
Yeah.
Banjo looks real good.
He looks great.
I can't fucking wait. I've wanted this for so long. I never thought it would happen. I still don't believe it. I probably won't believe it until I actually like play him a couple times.
Neve, could you read this next one, please?
Zelda, Link's Awakening.
No, it's the one...
The one you wrote...
It's the one 3 above that. God damn it, Neve. Animal...
Oh... Animal Crossing.
Neve, you wrote that, so it doesn't make sense that you can't pronounce it.
It's Animal Crossing.
You two are really trying my patience this podcast.
Do we have other predictions that you're getting?
We have like 10. We do it at the start of every year.
But do you
it's
remember
how we
them?
decide the queens. No, just those two, because you two are such little fucking nightmares to deal with on this podcast.
John, I think we have a better way of deciding the queens, don't we?
Yeah.
No.
The audience votes. It happens every year.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
And they always vote for me.
If you guys want to go for an audience vote, I'm fine with that. I've seen the Discord. I have seen my loyal subjects. And let me tell you, to everyone who I see like making those like the Dark Prince will rise shit, I will remember you when I do become queen.
Yeah, all 3 of you
will
losers.
Queen.
You will sit beside me
I'm the queen.
on thrones of gold. And to everyone else talking shit, especially you two, I will drown you in pools of your own blood and bones, you miserable fuck. Anyway, look, E3.
Animal Crossing is coming.
I just want to give a shout out to the Discord. They all wish me happy birthday. Thank you so much.
That's very sweet.
I love you all, and John. You know, well,
Don't trust him.
Yeah.
Vote for Neve and Brian.
Neve and Brian are really cool, and John is made of flies.
I did write a song once about a man made of flies.
Okay, they announced Animal Crossing.
Who cares?
Let's just throw this shit out.
People were very excited for it.
Brian, you seem kind of down on it.
I don't care.
Like for me, it's just the first trailer problem, where it's just like doesn't look that good in the first trailer, but like a year ago, I thought the first trailer for Smash was shit, and I love that game. So,
well, like Michelle's like the target market for this, and she was like, "Oh, new Animal Crossing, cool, I'll buy that." And like, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to come out at the end of 2019, but they've delayed it because they have a bunch of games coming out anyway, and they just want to make sure the scheduling is okay.
Yep.
So it's out in March.
Astral Chain.
New trailer. Still looks great. Can't wait to play
Sold.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's out.
100-page art book.
It's actually a 150-page art book. and it comes with like
Well, whoever fucking wrote this, their head will roll.
I wrote it, but I'm actually correcting Brian. Past Brian, you fucked up. It comes with like an art card and a CD as well if you want to get all that shit. It's out at the end of August.
Okay, Astral Chain's art book, special edition, Final Fantasy VII Remakes, Play Arts Kai Figure of Cloud, special edition, or Death Stranding Pod Baby special edition. You can only own one of them. Which one is it?
I want the Link's Awakening one.
That's not on the list.
The Astral Chain, because it will take up the least room.
Yeah, it's like
And
for me.
I don't. Special editions are bad.
Some are.
See,
A lot are.
Most are. Yeah.
for me with the Death Stranding, I was like, that all looks good, but that big titanium case, I don't need that.
I don't want the baby in my apartment.
I want the weird Pod Baby. I'm not going to buy it.
You're
but
just gonna try and get it off
I
eBay.
would love. I want to hold the Pod Baby thing. That's so weird.
It's Neve's maternal yearning for the baby.
Leave your
No,
nest
I
egg.
like weird fucking
Neve,
collectibles.
it's your biological.
It's my-
I want my baby. Where's my baby?
Oh, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Special, and this is a special edition as well, which is a Steelbook Game Boy case. I am fucking sold on this. I can't wait.
I still think this game looks incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Everything they showed about it looks cool. The people who think it looks like pop vinyls are insane.
They have an amiibo out as well.
Neve, you're not excited for this?
No, like it looks cute. I like how it looks.
You flip your shit over anything miniature related.
No, I love like Brian sent us the real life miniatures that they made for the E3 show of this, and
They're
they
amazing.
look gorgeous.
They look like the game.
I just don't want to play. I don't want to play a Zelda game.
Okay, point made.
Yeah.
Neve, not a Nintendo fan. Point made once again.
I love Link's Awakening. I'm totally cool with paying €60 to fucking play this
I
stupid.
think this looks amazing. Like,
It's cool because it's got the color dungeon and everything from the deluxe version, and it's got like a dungeon maker kind of thing.
I never beat Link's Awakening for the Game Boy because I got to the 8th dungeon and I couldn't figure out a puzzle, and it's the only time I gave up on a game, and it still haunts me.
The ending is really fucked up, and like the game is inspired by Twin Peaks,
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
and they still haven't shown fucked up Kirby properly or fucked up Wart, but I can't wait.
Finally, they announced new Breath of the Wild.
This is cool.
They sure did.
Yep.
So it's just like a 1.5 minute cinematic of Link and Zelda.
Short hair looks good.
Yeah, her hair is short so that she's playable.
Oh, everyone's losing their mind over short hair Zelda. Everyone lost their mind over pants Zelda, like of Breath of the Wild. They were like,
That was a cool design.
Yeah, she got
no,
pants.
she has a lovely design, but
Well, then
people
what
like
what are you fucking annoyed about, Neve?
You know
because
what
she wasn't nothing in the game.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was a voice.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping, like, Zelda looks cool. I really like her hair and her new look. I hope she's not going to be playable, but like I hope that she has an active role in it, and the cinematic
right
looked
there with
hopeful.
you. I really hope. I'd love if she was playable. I don't see it happening, but
The trick is to be extremely dismissive and be doubtful at every turn and every hand that they give you, and maybe it might work in your favor.
yeah.
This is cool, but I do remember one prediction, and Brian primed all of us about the Majora's Mask of Breath of the
I
Wild.
wouldn't really call this a Majora's Mask, would you, Brian?
I would.
No, Brian, shut the fuck up.
No, because it's using the same game engine. It's reusing
And
the
he's-
assets.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Brian said would happen. And I was just like, Brian seems so confident in this that I'm going to say yes, there will be a tease to this. And I was the only one who said yes, and Brian said no, and I felt like he had tricked me. And now who has been tricked? Not I.
Oh, Neve, I'm playing the long con. We're on the same side. I said I would like that we are splitting the votes because this is how we get them.
2019
You
has
get
been...
me by making up fucking bullshit predictions like Shenmue's going to be in the top 10. You knew I was going to... Anyway, we're getting way too into this prediction
Yeah.
shit. Okay, let's just drop that for the time being.
We're supposed to forget about these things.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're breaking the rules. Yeah, I mean, I really want another Breath of the Wild because I want them to build a game. Look, that's really dismissive, but like,
Yeah,
add
me
story,
too.
add story
Yeah,
to the
I'd love a
existing
story.
world.
like, look, just okay. Breath of the Wild to me, it's like the fucking coolest proof of concept ever. I got really tired of that game, you know, and the idea that now they can go back using that same engine, that same technology, those same assets, and like do like a traditional-ish, like, you know, remix it, do weird shit with it, but do something new.
Yeah, like
it's
it,
so exciting.
Like the minute and a half trailer they had looked really cool. Like they're exploring crypts underneath Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
Like maybe a lot of it takes place underground. Maybe some of it takes place up in the sky.
I just want it to be weird. Like I want a giant hand coming out of a toilet again.
Yeah. I
needs
want to
toilet
help a
paper.
bunch of beavers in the dam.
Yeah.
I want an active narrative, and that's what it looks like. I don't want things to be told through flashbacks. I don't want disembodied voices. I want a story. And it looks like it could have it.
It's called Link's Awakening.
No, I don't think you're ever going to get that from Zelda Neve.
But, I mean, Skyward Sword and...
Oh, that game
Are you fucking serious?
That game
What's
sucks.
the other one? The one where he's a wolf?
Twilight Princess.
They have stories. They have characters and cutscenes.
About as much as Breath of the
The
Wild.
characters
No,
in Twilight
Breath of
Princess
the
are so
Wild is
lame.
worse because it's all told through flashbacks and taking a photo. Like it's not actively happening in the moment. I just want it to happen in that moment.
You should play Link's
That's an
Awakening.
odd-
That's
that's
what you
Fine,
gotta-
I'm playing Link's Awakening.
That's
Okay,
an odd distinction to me,
Neve.
but yeah, okay.
Neve, I'm gonna buy Link's Awakening. I'm gonna lend it to you, and you're gonna say thanks, Brian.
Link's Awakening.
I don't think it's that odd a distinction. I find it really hard to kind of get invested in something that's being told to
Yeah,
me.
I guess it's not something I could relate to, but I see where you're coming from. Guys, that was E3. I thought Nintendo, very solid press conference.
Yeah, like they're very much
Yeah.
aware that they have a system that exists right now,
Yeah.
and they should release games for it, rather than what Microsoft and others are doing, where they're like, we got a vague, we don't know. There's a console in the horizon.
Yeah.
Here are games that are coming out for it. These aren't coming.
I really liked with Nintendo as well. They showed Daemon X Machina, which I kind of had disappeared for a little bit, but it's coming out this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
God,
like,
that
I'm
game
excited.
has like a cool look and sound.
Ah, I really want to play it.
There,
So good.
there's probably other games at E3 that we've overlooked. If so, it didn't grab our attention.
I would like to maybe do a little roundup podcast next episode, because a lot of smaller games tend to fall through the cracks at E3.
Yeah.
Like stuff being demoed, and it'd be nice if we could even just like, you know, grab one or two games where it's like, oh, by the way, this was at E3 as well, and this also looked cool, like some little indie thing or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
And we are very apprehensive and dismissive, but like, you have to understand these are catered cinematics that they're putting their best version of this forward.
Also, we grew up in Ireland, and things are really mean here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are bleak people.
We don't woo.
No, we
No.
don't. What was the woo from E3?
For me, it was probably Breath of the Wild
No,
sequel.
wasn't there some woo meme something?
Really?
I don't know.
No,
maybe.
there was the "You're breathtaking" to Keanu, and he said
Yeah.
it back, or isn't it?
That was fun.
Bethesda's had a very chatty press conference.
That asshole.
Yeah.
That was the woo. Yeah, he sucked.
He was
Hated him.
roaring, but also I thought Square's crowd was really rude as well.
Then what? They were just trolling the people on
They were
stage.
just a lot of yelling.
Yeah, hecklers.
People sure did.
Are they
go
not
nuts.
journalists?
People sure did go nuts for Tifa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Guys, let's say we move on to some emails.
Okay. We are almost 2.5 hours into this. I got very good email here, though.
Okay.
This is from Allison.
Hey, Alison.
Which non-video game world would you like to have a game set in?
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
So what genre game is it?
It could be like a kind of Telltale game, but no, I'd like it to be kind of just. I'd like it to be a Shenmue-like. Okay, look, here's the thing. I think what I really like about Always Sunny in Philadelphia is everyone in that show is the worst version of themselves. Like, you see how these people could maybe be good, they maybe have like a spark of humanity, but no, they're just the worst. And I think what I love about that is living vicariously through that and imagining a world where I am at my worst all the time that isn't this podcast. And I would love a Shenmue like in that world.
Who would you play as? As all of them?
New character yourself.
Okay. And you're going to the pub for the first time?
There's a character
You're going
creator and you pick all your awful tendencies.
So like it's just the slider is all in the minus numbers.
Yeah. Like
So-
charm starts off at -10 and that's the start of it. That's the like very top. It goes down to -80.
Yeah, you've got like -100 charisma and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay. I would like a video game set in a comic convention.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I'd love it to be like a AAA game and like it has like the crowd system done just right. But maybe it's a bit like the new Hitman games, I guess. I don't know what like the aim of the game is, but you have to navigate your way through bodies of people to get to a goal.
Right.
But I don't want it to be an assassination thing.
What if you kill them at the end?
Okay, how about you're playing as like a teenage girl and there's another teenage girl and you fucking hate her guts and you just want to have a screaming match with her, but you have to wade through the con.
Okay, 2 teenage girls and they're both streamers.
Shit.
Yeah.
And they have to get the best like
best
angle
content.
of con, the best cosplays on their phone, and they're fighting each other for subscribers.
Yeah,
Could it
I'd
be
like-
where, the game's
yeah.
like maybe an hour long, but there's all these different ways it can play out, and so you play it over and over.
Yeah.
One girl sees a murder, like someone just falls off
Okay,
like
this
a
is cool.
staircase, and she like loads of subscribers for that because that video goes viral.
Yep.
So it's got this cat and mouse thing, and like it's
Yeah.
got one dedicated enemy AI,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really out to get you.
That sounds cool.
But it's also got its own route that it takes completely separate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Neve, what do you got?
Okay, real world location, rural Ireland.
Yep.
Think murder mystery, body found in a bog. It's a fresh one,
By a
which
dog.
you usually don't find. By a dog.
Mr. News is in this game.
Mr. News comes back. You have to talk
I
to
forgot about
the.
Mr. News.
You have to
girl-
talk
the
to the
girl-
locals in the town.
The girl you play as is called Neve, and there's like other name options, but they're all grayed out.
Only play as
Where you
Neve.
pick them and it just says Neve.
You'll also meet other multiple Neves of the same age because that was a very popular name. Look, there's a lot of 30-year-old Neves
The
going
idea of
around.
walking around a small town and everyone being Neve, as in specifically Neve, is maybe like a nightmare I've had. And then this one shopkeeper, and it's Brian.
I have no idea why
So,
I'm here.
small town murder mystery in rural Ireland. You have to interview a cow because a cow maybe saw it.
That sounds like a Phoenix Wright segment.
Yeah, no,
Phoenix Wright has cross-examined a parrot and a whale.
I love when birds get examined. I'm rewatching Twin Peaks and just Waldo's a great bird.
I gotta rewatch that soon.
So that's my real world one. My fake world one, and no one's gonna like this because no one likes this TV show. The OA, the video game.
I like that show.
Because now in the second season, they're hopping dimensions into different bodies, and I think it would be cool to like hop dimensions and take over a different character every time and just be in a new situation, a new world.
So it's a new character and new environment.
They all look the same, but they're all living different lives. So you kind of hop. Once you die, you hop into another world.
And does like the geometry that you're navigating like copy over, but maybe like you're going through like a tunnel, but maybe it was like a factory tunnel suddenly becomes a tunnel of like a forest, like of wood.
Maybe I think it could be just completely different.
Okay.
Yeah, like you could just wake up in bed, it's like.
And you're in a cramped environment, then
Yeah,
all of a
you're
sudden
done.
you click and you're in like a big open field.
So every time you die, you snap into someone else, and it changes up the world and the gameplay.
It'd be cool if like there was like a demon like running and screaming at you, but then like you click.
So you hop into a dimension for a second and you just see that and you're like, whoa, out of here.
No, wrong room.
Because there's weird shit in the OA, like the weird sex octopus from season 2. Like
What's the weird sex octopus?
there's a sex club and there's a giant, vaguely racist octopus in it that speaks through the OA.
Patreon shoutouts.
This is my favorite part of the podcast.
So listen, I desperately want to contribute to this podcast because it means so much to me.
Oh yeah?
Is there any I'm talking? I'll fucking kill a person. I'll rob people. Just tell me what I got to do.
Okay. We got a Patreon.
Oh, that's way easier. Oh, thank God. Honestly, I was getting kind of skittish there for a bit. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can kind of go through with this. Although I would have, but yeah.
Okay, but you got to make sure you type in patreon.com /LFAB.
Okay, so that's patreon.com /LFAB. And how many people am I going to get? How many people do you want me to kill there?
You don't have to kill anyone.
Seriously?
Well, there's a guy called John, but you know.
Okay, well maybe I'll edit that part out as well. We'll see.
I think he's going to wear himself out at some point. It's grand.
Brian, that's really... Oh, that's a...
Cut it all out. I don't mind.
No, that was funny. Do you want to explain that, or we just...
No, it's okay.
Look.
You can support the podcast.
I didn't mean it like that. I just said that in general you will wear yourself out.
I mean, that's also true, I guess.
I forgot about all that.
You can give us $3. And that will help support the podcast.
And John.
I've got medical expenses.
And Brian.
I don't actually have medical expenses. I'm fine, everybody.
We gotta. It's more about the wine budget, everyone.
But patreon.com/LFAB. And thank you to everyone who already does support us. The Patreon really... It's been popping.
Yeah, why? Thank you, but
thank
why?
You, thank you so much. Really.
I love all of you.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Thanks.
Yeah, they're great.
Holy shit.
They're great bunch of lads.
Anyway.
Lasses?
Lads is gender neutral.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thanks, lads. So yeah, and if you do, you can also have your message read out on the Bosscast, just like this. Brian, why don't you take this first one?
This first one is from Locash. This is a message to my future self. I hope you are doing all right.
You know what, Locash? Me too, buddy. Hope you're doing great.
All right, who's next?
Neve, you got Joe Dio-san.
I transferred my consciousness for this. Awesome.
Huh.
Fuck yeah.
That was thematically relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one is from...
Charybdis.
Do either of you guys want to take this one?
Pro tip for buying bodysuits. Make sure there are crotch snaps.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that an issue?
No,
yeah.
It's not. It's not an issue. It's fine. Let's
Did
move
you
on.
not
No, let's move on.
buy the crotch snapped bodysuit?
Let's move on.
Did you make a mistake one
Guys,
time?
Look, I don't want to get real, but you two have really taken me to my fucking limit this podcast, and I just want to be done. Okay, I just want to be fucking done. I just want to go home. I want to not see both of you for 2 more fucking weeks. All right? Think we can fucking do that?
Do you think we should make this like a 3-hour episode? Neve, do you have anything that you just want to talk about in general?
I really need to pee.
Okay, yeah, and?
Yes, and...
It's just me then. It's just Brian for the next half hour while...
No, Dr. News can talk to you.
Maybe I should sing another song.
Loot drop.
Neve, what the... You've no loot drop.
I do.
And? What is it?
Neve, why don't you put down your phone and tell us your loot drop?
Search your memory. Do you remember?
Brian, what's your loot drop? Well, failure here. Fucking find something on YouTube.
This is a channel I got recommended. Like all of my loot drops.
I'm sorry, you're not a failure. You're great.
So what did you get recommended, Brian?
I got a YouTube channel called Odd Tinkering, and it's a dude who just fixes things that are broken. There is no dialogue or music or anything like that. It's just like sometimes it's subtitled. It's very, very basic, but that's what I like about it.
I think this is a really great title for this video. Could you read that out?
Restoring original SNES that had yogurt inside it. And this is like a beat up PAL edition Super Nintendo, so it was very personal to me, and it is yellow as fuck. Because you know how they're like gray to begin, and then they get bleached by the sun. And they just turn that awful pea yellow.
Neve, what do you got?
Okay. I'm really digging from my personal stash here.
You've got some scraps.
So, I collect figures, and I like looking at figure reviews. I once found this weird video of a guy who makes a custom Black Widow doll. And he buys a Python body. And if you collect 12-inch figures, you know they're kind of like the sex figure bodies. So he's trying to make a custom Black Widow, and he's really bad at it, and he can't fit her feet into boots, so he gets scissors and cuts off her feet and shoves it into the boots, and he's like, I think this looks really good. So it's just a really weird guy trying to mod a figure really badly.
What kind of following does this guy have?
Like none.
Do you want to sick an audience on him?
Yeah.
Okay. Look. Just watch it, but just
views. Yeah. Don't be like.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Tell him how great it looks.
It's really old, but sometimes I find it just to go, oh my god, what are you doing to that figure? And that's all I have because I don't have a loot drop. I'm so sorry.
No, I really like
That's
YouTube.
a good one. That's a pretty strong
No,
one.
I love YouTube videos that don't have that many views. There's something.
There's something really weird about it.
Sometimes I find channels and I purposefully don't want to mention them because I'm like, no, I want this to stay what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something really honest about them.
Yeah, totally. They're not.
Like, this guy really is modding his heart out.
Fair play to him. I hope it all works out.
He can't get the suit on, so it's full of talcum powder. It's so bad.
Gotta have that crotch snap.
Do you ever find like YouTube's and channels that's from like 8 years ago, and then you're like, where is this person now? The kid from Brooklyn is like that.
I remember I found this one where it was like a guy who like would dance along to like opening theme songs, and there's a famous one of him doing it to the Tina Fey show 30 Rock. But then like people were like, nah, that guy's not good. And then there was like the more recent arrest photos of him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like the idea is put in your head, and then it's
So sometimes it's really sad because you find like a viral video and it has like, 300,000 views or something like that. And then like you go to their channel and that viral video was like 5 years ago, but they've uploaded every week since then. And it's like 100 views, 2K views, 150 views, 700 views. And it's like, oh man, it just never
Can't capture that magic of like falling down the stairs
no,
that one time.
No matter how hard you try.
No.
Okay, I got 2 loot drops. One is the 7 wrestling promo I mentioned earlier. People should watch that promo. It is a disaster and I love it. And then the second one is I was recently on another podcast where I was ridiculed just about as much as I was here, called Wooly Versus, where you can hear me pitch an idea I had for a story a long time ago that I never made.
called Angel City.
We don't have to talk about it.
I think we need to talk about this just briefly.
No, please. No, please. No,
I
don't.
thought you were best friends with us, and how come you didn't tell us about your secret?
Because you would make fun of me.
We would never make fun of you for anything.
Not once.
Right.
We're so nice to you all the time.
My brain is like literally shutting down because that is maybe the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like, are you sure?
Can we please end this podcast?
I think we should just do one more minute. I think we just gotta feel it. Neve, did you need to go to the bathroom, or did you?
Yeah, like terribly.
Okay.
But we can sit here.
Yeah, like I kind of like. I like what's happening. So like Neve is squirming, John has his hands on his face, and I am just having the time of my life. I have rum inside my body, and it doesn't matter what tomorrow brings because E3 has already happened, and we don't need to worry anymore. This is a podcast about video games. Thank you for listening. Thank you, John. Thank you, Neve. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, dear listener. This is a podcast.
Goodbye.
2019, episode 101, Dalmatians, starring Glenn Close as Cruella DeVille.
Good night, everybody.
I wasn't done talking.
Oh.